Usually we start off every single Honkai Star Rail video doing an idle animation, but I thought it was just really funny that I booted up here in Honkai Star Rail, and for a split second I was like, wait, why am I here? And then it was me testing out if the glitch that I had before has been fixed, and guys, yes it has, and it was fixed like last week, so like it's actually like been fixed in the recent update. So it means that all these areas that used to this used to just be non-existent, by the way. I used to be walking on invisible air. So all the glitches that were there before have been fixed. Very glad about that, by the way. I tried to do a thing where I was reinstalling the game, I was doing all this stuff, but the reality is it was just a situation where they knew there was an issue for some people and they fixed it. So I'm very grateful for that. That's awesome. Obviously, we've already gone through these worlds, so that's a thing. But still, for any future reference, anytime they use Ornix in the future, it looks like it will be fixed. Hello, Baby Gang says, this is Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. We're going to be going back into the world there with Finon and his past and all this stuff too, with the immersive theater. But first, I wanted to do something that I think we should do now. Because usually when it comes to databank stuff, what I usually do is if there's something that catches my eye that I want to look up, I will look it up. But this time around, it's one of those things where I think this is something that they explain kind of in a lot of side stuff, which is, fine. But I want to then look at it here, so let's put places here, by the way. Just a few entries in the databank, and we can check it from there. Yeah, look at this, the boxes are gone. Everything is, it's working now, it's so good. So, I'm going to go to the databank, which is down here. My rules in the databank are very simple, by the way. They're very simple, and it's always been the same thing. It's always been, to me, a very consistent thing that I do is... I play through the game, I let the game explain to me what it wants to explain to me, and then when it comes down to it, I need to more context or something afterwards, or I think I don't understand something fully, I go to the databank. Because, as I said before, one thing happened to me in a previous episode where I looked up the databank first, and then the character explained the exact thing in the databank, and I'd rather get through the story and then get it then. But if there's a situation where they're just they expect you to kind of understand this, and that's a totally different story, 110%. So the first thing we're going to be looking up is Scholar's Strife, I believe it is. Let's see this now. Scholar's Strife. There's scepters there as well, which we're going to be looking up as well. We probably don't, if we don't have Scholar's Strife, we can, oh, here it is, okay. So, should we be looking at the Rubert stuff first, I guess? Possibly? So it's okay, it's okay. After Rupert II's death, with the IPC's supervision, the Emperor's legacy, the scepter system was completely inherited by the Intelligentsia Guild. This legacy that far surpassed human intelligence fueled rumors among the schools. With the scepter's computational power, they could create a perfect scholar that swore allegiance to them. Jesus Christ. A genius belonging to the Intelligentsia Guild, possessing unlimited life, inexhaustible knowledge repository, and endless research tools. To realize this goal, and for interests of the various schools, the Scholar's Strife lifted its curtains. To contend for even more of the scepter allocation, the various schools with the School of Interstellar Energy Resources at the head attacked one another to get more shares of the legacy. So they're trying to get more of these the scepter allegations. My apology. But I think that as we said last time, what we did understand about the idea of the scepters was that they were kind of this part of a neuron of Nous, right, in some ways. What was once purely scientific pursuit gradually devolved to some cloak and dagger competition. Makes sense, it happens all the time with anything to do with any sort of information or power or whatever, or resource. And with the intervention of the IPC and other external powers, of course, a shadow of a proxy war was cast over the Scholar's Strife. The guild's knowledge and ideals were no longer pure, leaving only ugly conflicts behind. So it's one of those things where the Intelligentsia Guild wanted vast knowledge, right, is what I'm getting from this. It was the idea of getting as much knowledge as humanly possible to further maybe different advancements and things like this as well, but it turned into something that became more of a competition and an arms race. This happens all the freaking time in the real world when any type of power or advantage is given to one place. It will turn into a battle over who actually deserves that power. Even in reality, it's just stop fighting. The farcical war left almost nothing of value behind, only one lone seeker of knowledge left behind, the solitary waves of theory conundrum. For future generations, the end of the relentless pursuit, the only treasure that bore fruit after the dust settled. So the only thing that left at the end was a relentless pursuit of knowledge. Okay, so what we learned from that was that there was a conflict over these scepters that basically ended up having like nothing left for anybody. There was an arms race amongst everyone, which originally the scepters were like kind of like confiscated or taken in a way that was supposed to be like, well, I guess like, would you use that the term confiscated? Because the way I look at it is like after his death, the scepters was inherited, not confiscated. Yeah. And eventually it became just a needless war to try and get more of this knowledge, and it was going to be used as like a research tool and a knowledge repository, but ended up being something that like hurt people had said. So I guess like we should look up to like, let's go in order of like what I have here, what I can look up here. So the first one would be, let's see here, Rubert. Okay. A computer dumped in a trash pile miraculously became self-aware, ultimately sparking a war that would engulf half the cosmos. Jesus Christ. The first of the Mechanical Emperor Wars, Rubert rose from a landfill while persistently improving his computational power. Its vast intellect eventually roused the attention of Noose, inviting him to join this genius society as the 27th member. So Rubert joined this genius society. Calculations performed by organic life are always riddled with errors, and no matter how much they may flourish, anti-life equations will never be autonomously be generated. Anti-life equations. Intellitron lifeforms are precise, rigorous, and perfect. Thus, Rubert assembled an army of intelligent robots crowding himself the Emperor and spreading the anti-life equation throughout the universe, plunging many civilizations into abject ruin. Wait, so because humans have errors in their computational skills, Rupert's assembled an army to... Because to me, the way they're saying equation sounds like it's like, you know, minus you. You know what I mean? Getting rid of you. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but that's what it sounds like. And again, if there's the idea of the Emperor Wars, right? As it says down here, look. The Emperor Wars. And the end of the... You know what I mean? At that point, then it's like one of those things where like... Yeah, that's just what it sounds like. That's legit what it sounds like. The Emperor had long since passed after countless Amphoreus. Some say it was taken out by assassins from the Interterrestrial Peace Corporation, while others maintain it was vanquished by the Lord of Silence, Polka Kakamond. After the two Emperor Wars, the IPC fear of inorganic beings has failed to relent to this very day. So that's so interesting as well, like the idea of like, they're still to this day have like a fear of, like, I guess, would you say people like Screwlum? Would that make sense? That if it's not an organic life form, they have this kind of like fear of them. And I think it might be a situation where they have like, it's like the lack of trust comes from obviously the history of like, you know, the what seems to be the Emperor Wars. But I don't think it's entirely fair to like paint everyone in the same brush, right? 100%. So I'm guessing this is some of the... Are the Emperor Wars the same wars that were happening here? No, this is afterwards. Sorry, this is afterwards. Yeah, because after Rubert II's death, he was, with the IPC's supervision, the scepter system was completely inherited. Yeah, so it was the IPC, even though they had fear of, like, this stuff as well, they then gave the Rubert II's scepter system to the Intelligentsia Guild, which then led to the farcical wars that happened afterwards. So the timeline we know right now is Rubert was saved by Noose. Rubert then started a war, the Emperor War, and then during that he was defeated, and then his scepter system, which we're going to learn about as well, was passed down to the Intelligentsia Guild, which then started a bunch of more fights in the end as well. Okay. So then we have the actual scepter system itself, right? Where's the scepter system? I know it was right here. I know it was here. You can't tell me it wasn't. Here we go. With Noose cognition process as its foundation, Rubert II cloned countless vast inorganic neuron clusters, from microparticle fluctuations to massive large-scale matter annihilation. The scepters were scattered across the Empire's segmenta faithfully performing observational, computational, and interference commands. Under specific circumstances, these celestial-level computational interference devices could even temporarily disrupt physical laws within an area, way like change like the actual physical world itself. So these scepters, excuse me, these from microparticle fluctuations to annihilations. They were constantly like observing things, computing things, but they're also interfering as well in things and could literally destroy and disrupt singular areas. Compared to Rubert I, the second emperor's cruelty only exceeded his predecessor despite his organic body. Indescribable gargantuan mechanical monoliths, self-iterating different machines, cold, merciless metal that executed an anti-organic equation with the pure intent to slaughter to replace the once formidable Intellitron legions. Wait. Oh, so it's saying that once Rupert I had like a... he was cruel, but he had like a formidable Intellitron legion, but instead it was replaced by like cold, gargantuan monoliths of machines. Those inorganic life forms instigated by the equation were nothing more than expendable tools, so he didn't even see them as anyone that like he cared about. Using the scepter system, he united the domain of his conquered lands to all his thoughts. From the flow of every single signal to the action of every individual, the entire dynamics of an empire all came under the control of a single being's mind. So that's the scepter system. It was to conquer all. It was to unite all domains of his conquered lands into his thoughts. Okay. From the flow of every signal to the action of every individual, the entire dynamics of one empire came out of control of one single being's mind. So it was like a controls thing. The emperor was the empire's sole executor, judge, and thinker. That's an interesting way to put it. Some opinions believe that the essence of the scepter system was the second emperor's way of overcoming organic limitations, an external cognition organ that converted the empire into his own brain. So it was his way of like getting past what he believed to be like the problems with like organic thought, I guess. And it says here like he was the sole executioner, judge, and thinker. He decided everything. He decided who dies. He decided what judgment would happen here, and he was the one who had like all the information, I guess. Perhaps influenced by such desire for control, the waning days of the Second Emperor's War, Rupert II decided to expand his own cognition with the scepter system to create a certain unknown knowledge singularity. Returning to the role of a seeker of knowledge, he prepared an experiment known as the self-coronation. Oh my god. Rupert died before he could complete the self-coronation. He was, so what we're learning here is that he was like, I'm going to expand his cognition and like become even more powerful, but he died before this happened. Some opine that he abandoned the idea halfway through, and others say a scalpel stopped his cognition, like he got stabbed. The scepter system was also completely disabled during the Scholar's Strife, and to this day, they quietly drift through the darkness, reduced to no more than some war ruins that travelers visit, or piles of trash waiting to be cleaned up. But as we know, right, Herta said one kind of like made its way out of this doom, right? It was one that she didn't find, right? It was one that she didn't see in the end. Yeah. Okay, and the other one is knowledge singularity, right? This is the other one, right? The moment ancient primates dwelling in the primal world discovered fire, they became geniuses among their tribes. Interesting. The moment an emanator was birthed when humanity was reaching the cosmos, they mastered the laws of interstellar travel, and thus the old era collapsed resoundingly. When the total sum of the universe's knowledge traverses a certain phase, it results in explosive growth, causing a qualitative change in knowledge, thus changing the standard at which humanity evaluates geniuses. This is actually not wrong. I don't like the term geniuses anyway. I hate the whole thing of like, he's a genius, like, because everyone has different types of intelligence, but I mean just in terms of like how fast things grow. When the internet was found, some people thought it was a fad, but like, legitimately, like, no one could tell how fast that was going to grow and how like crazy it was going to be, right? And I think it is all with the way they describe it here, like when the first primate found fire, all of a sudden they are like the head honcho. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, look what he did, you know? When in reality, anyone could have found that fire in the moment as well. And here they're also talking about the idea of like, you know, when the Emanator was birthed, when humanity was reaching the cosmos, they mastered laws of interstellar travel. And so all of a sudden, interstellar travel became the norm. It's the same thing as when people create the airplane, right? Am I getting this right? Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm getting this wrong, but like, it's like creating the airplane. It's like, all of a sudden, when we had commercial travel, the way people traveled around the world became completely different, and all of a sudden, boats became less viable and less popular of a method of getting from one country to the next. Horse and cart became obsolete when the car was invented and mass produced. You know what I mean? It's like those things. Genius Society 22, Aiden, proposed that, I love just him sitting there. Sup, Aiden? It's like, Aiden, what are you doing? I'm just chilling, you know? Aiden proposed the hypothesis of the knowledge singularity. He described a special cognition critical threshold with a probability of near zero created by an absolute genius. In a time when scholars can only analyze phenomena, this genius can touch the essence of erudition. Just as Sander built the astrocomputer bringing the path of erudition from 0 to 1, knowledge embarked on this new path. Every manifestation of knowledge singularity will lead to an expansion of a circle of knowledge on the cosmos dimensions. In terms of the principle of methodology, tools, and cognition, constructing a whole new framework, permanently redefining knowledge and even shaking Noos's thought process. Countless geniuses have pursued the knowledge singularity, and most of them have faded into the fog along the borders of the circle. Even so, some Genius Society members still view it as a lifelong pursuit, not for their own ambition, but because they're geniuses, they just have to pursue it, right? So it's knowledge singularity is what they said with the scepter information as well, right? It's the idea of like knowledge all gathering in. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, because the way they say it here, right? It's like, it's like everything coming under control under one being's mind, because I think they mentioned that here as well, didn't they? Yeah, because like it's like Rupert II finally decided to expand his own knowledge. Oh no, he wanted to create it. Okay. So, influenced by such desire for control in the waning days of the Second Emperor's War, Rupert decided to expand his own cognition with the scepter system to create a certain unknown knowledge singularity. So, he wanted to create an unknown knowledge singularity. And to me, like, if we're talking about like the idea of a knowledge singularity, with the way they describe it here, it's... Wait, so... It's a special cognition critical threshold with a probability of near zero created by an absolute genius. In a time where scholars can only analyze phenomena, this genius can touch the essence of erudition. So... It's the idea that this can touch the essence of erudition? Is that what it is? Because I thought the idea of knowledge singularity would be like all knowledge like convening on one person or one thing having all the knowledge. Just as Sander built the astrocomputer to bring the path of erudition from 0 to 1, knowledge embarked on this new path, every manifestation knowledge singularity will lead to an expansion of the circle of knowledge. Because it keeps saying it's redefining all, so maybe it's not just like a gathering of knowledge in one area, maybe it is like the idea of like, it's more about being closer to the idea of erudition. Am I wrong in that sense? Maybe? Noose stays in the corner of the cosmos working out the equations of the universe made up of trillion variables and deriving the unknown laws of imaginary numbers. Once in a while, a spark of intelligence flashes in the mortal world. The aeon of erudition sends a signal to its source, inviting geniuses to join and search for answers in the universe. Because that's what I'm saying. Maybe they get so close to erudition that they can touch all the knowledge in erudition. Many people misrepresent the signal, thinking it was an invitation to the Genius Society merely represents the favor of the approval of the Aeon. Then they proudly continue to devote themselves to the studies, unaware that the solution to the problems that they spent their whole life searching for had already been solved by Noose thousands of years ago. Noose is like, yeah, I knew that. What can you do? There are also those who rejoice thinking they have already reached the greatness and had created priceless asset of civilization with their diligence and wisdom. Then they are assured their life's achievements deserve Noose's approval. These geniuses were eager for the response from Noose, but the erudition has no time to appreciate the insignificant achievements of mere mortals. Their silence was deafening. Only if very few can ascertain Noose's intentions, they humbly ask questions and seek guidance from the erudition. These enlightened few then disappear from the world, only leaving behind the world-shattering answers. The answer to the universe is beyond the limits of the mortal wisdom. Only geniuses who can clearly acknowledge this conclusion can break free from the shackles of the worldly curiosity, becoming true members of the Genius Society. So you have to understand that only few can actually can ascertain his intentions, and those who do will disappear from this world. You have to understand as a genius that the answer to the universe is beyond our wisdom. It's beyond our wisdom. So, to describe, to put in summary, again, I'm not going to, I might get some stuff wrong here as well, but to me, Rupert the Emperor was a dude who was, found by Noose. He then became the 27th member of the Genius Society. He, had a kind of a weird thing against people who are organic life forms and created an equation where he wanted to slaughter organic life forms. He created the scepter system. The scepter system was a like massive piece of technology where all thoughts converged on him, where he became they said the judge, executioner, and thinker, where all knowledge kind of converged on him, and he was able to form these massive like computational and observational things on the world, like in a mass amount, right? Is that the way you would describe it, I guess? So all of this like kind of like information was constantly being like converged onto these like scepters, while also like, you know, his control he had over this like world as well. I think we're getting that right. Rubert then was there was the Emperor Wars that Rubert started were ended by an unknown reason. People don't know why Rubert II died, and Rubert II died, and then his scepters were inherited by the IPC, who had an irrational fear of then IPC didn't have a fear of like inorganic beings to this very day, and they inherited this and then gave the power of all this knowledge to the Intelligentsia Guild as a way of like research and obtaining knowledge. But then, of course, after a while, people then wanted to get this information, and people desired this information, which then ended in a situation where there was a battle over the actual, I think it was internal, right? A farcical war, they called it, over like the information itself, and fought over the information. So all of a sudden, it became a thing that was not pure. So then during that scholars' strife, I think is what they called it, then the systems were disabled, but one of them, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, one of them was found in Amphoreus by Herta. So one of the scepters that kind of like escaped her gaze, right? When she was trying to get rid of all these scepters in the end. That's my viewpoint. That's my kind of summary of what has happened. You guys can like fill in like if I'm getting something like wrong there, if I'm misinterpreting something, please let me know. But that's kind of like my view on that right now, is that there was scepters. There was a king named Rubert who was a member of the Gene Society who then started slaughtering organic life forms. When he died, it was passed down to the IPC, who gave it to the Intelligentsia Guild, which then caused a scholars' strife and a war between scholars. And then after the war with the scholars ended, those scepters like kind of drifted to space, or were, I guess, in my view, I think Herta like got rid of a lot of them. And then the last one that escaped her grasp was the one in Amphoreus, right? Is that like a quick summary? Does that sound good? Okay, I think we have an understanding. Maybe we're wrong here. But I only say maybe we're wrong because like this game can like all of a sudden people be like, actually no, like it was an ice cream maker. And that's not me saying that the game is silly. It's like with this game, like you never know. But let's go continue on with the story then, guys. That was a bit of a long chunk there, but I wanted to get that done as well. As I said, my rules stay the same when it comes to databank. I have no problem taking suggestions for stuff, but it's one of those situations where it's always going to come down to my view in the end and my feelings in the end. That's the way it's always going to come down to, 110%.
Is this your idea of an honorable duel?
Bloodshed isn't the way. We and Aggie don't want to see Chrysoceres turn on each other.
And this is the duel they talked about that he wanted, right? Remember, Minimo said he wanted it.
True warriors know when to sheathe their blades. The impartial Talantan shall oversee this duel. You need only place your offerings upon their scales.
So, true warriors when they sheathe their blades is a great line, by the way. I think it's so true. It's like, if you're actually like an honorable warrior, you know when you have to like, call it quits. You know what I mean? So Tantalon's gonna be overseeing the duel, okay?
Something that has more weight than the fate of the world.
Do you remember, when that happened? When we did that puzzle in the end with wasn't that when we were like going after, we're trying to meet Ornyx, right, for the first time?
Which means only those who understand the world's weight are worthy to carry it. Is this how you plan to test our convictions? Well, Kremnoan, looks like you won't be able to punch your way through this one.
Looks like you won't be able to hug and kiss your way through this one, Kremnoan.
It makes no difference. One last chance, new recruit. Walk away, and I'll spare
They should have
your
just done this for
life.
2 hours with the two of them were like, no, you got one last chance. You know what? I think you're smart in this. Maybe you should walk away. You know, they should have done that for like 2 hours.
Otherwise, come and face me. I'll give you a warrior's death.
Jesus, remember what they said? You have to know when to sheath the sword.
Hard to imagine they once clashed like this.
Yeah, especially since they're such big buddies. But that rivalry is so there, right? It's so real, for sure. And that rivalry is very cute, though, in the end, right? For sure.
Holy Maiden, I can't help but feel like a pawn that has stumbled into some greater political game.
Every hero was once a child, and every child must grow.
True.
That's so. I don't even know why I'm standing here right now.
It's interesting. He says he's like, you know, he's in a pawn for someone's political gain, I suppose. I think it probably comes as well from the fact that he came from a world when he was younger that was so pure and so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like we, and it's no surprise that like the first thing we saw when we went to like his home world was him meeting up with his best bud who was swinging on the swing in these beautiful wheat fields. You know, it's so far away from the world that he once was in, right? As well.
Look at me. Just a common soldier.
Ah.
If it weren't a contest of swords, Lady Goldweaver would have taken the fight herself. When it comes to dying for the Holy City, how could I ever
Oh my
measure
god,
up
the
to
doubts
her?
in his mind when, like, at this point he was already predestined to be some sort of, like, not predestined, but you know what I mean? He was already, like, had the capabilities. And as well, can I say, too, like, I think I'm always a big supporter of the idea of the hero that believes he isn't, like, the chosen one is usually the chosen one. You know what I mean? It's usually the one who's like, I can't, I shouldn't, you know?
What if we told you this duel isn't about winning or losing, but rather in the choice you make?
Interesting way to put it, right?
Are you saying that Lady Goldweaver is testing me?
Every Chrysosaur is indispensable to the Flame Chase
yes.
journey. And you and the Crown Prince of Kremnos are both a part of the prophecy.
And that's the thing that can get lost in the weeds sometimes. Just because Phynon is considered like the guy, right, that was going to take over for Aglaya, every single person had a part to play in this world. Everybody did.
What the duel marks is not an ending, but a beginning.
Okay.
So, listen to your heart. We wish only to hear your answer.
So it marks a beginning, not an ending. So do you think that's the idea? And like, listen to your heart, so, but do you think that's like the idea where it's like, you know, sometimes with duels you can think it is going to be like to the death, but in this case it's like, this is like a new start. Like, whatever your choice is here now is going to probably, I don't think it's going to determine what happens in the future, but maybe it does show like either his ability to listen to his heart or what is in his heart.
True enough. The voice within has never failed me. It doesn't matter what the result is. I'll give it everything I
Lovely.
have.
Spoken like a Chrysosaur. Now go, Phynon. Your journey has only just begun.
Heck yeah. I love the words that sometimes are using this where it's like, yeah, it's only just begun.
That's right, comrade. It's time for us to teach that proud prince a lesson together.
It's so mad to me. Come on, we got someday he will too be your comrade. What if we lose? It's so crazy to me that, like, you know, the whole stuff of, like, you know, Phynon and us being like lifelong friends and stuff. Like, it's just like, for him, it's just so natural, you know?
Now that's what I like to hear.
Like, he doesn't think any different of it whatsoever.
Still, on the topic of the Temple of the Three Fates, here we are, at the Temple of the Time Titan. And I don't even know how Cyrene's studies are progressing. We haven't really had much contact since I set out.
Set out. What's happening here? Man, have I been misinterpreting parts? Because, like, since I set out, like, your world was destroyed.
Still, I hope she's doing well. Anyway, let's go, comrade. It's not every day you get a chance to see Talantin's scales of justice.
And he's talking to, like, obviously Stell, as we know, as we were lifelong friends, and, like, you know, talking about Cyrene as, like, we know Cyrene, right? And Cyrene is our friend, too. But he, like, the way he said set out sounds like he's saying, like, oh, yeah, I just, like, went out on a big trip. You had to leave everything behind. You buried everything.
What's going
Yeah,
on?
it's strange.
Did he just say Cyrene's studying here?
Exactly.
But how is that
Yes.
possible? Wasn't she?
Yes.
Of course, Lygus disappears right when I need answers.
We can't rely on Lygus for answers.
Forget it. I need to catch up with Finan first.
We can rely on Lygus for like, for now, very cryptic answers. In the end, he will probably give us more answers, you know?
Amazing.
This is so strange.
Talantin may have fallen, but their scales remain true to their
It's
purpose.
just so, it's even stranger to me, right? The reason why it's even strange to me because like what happened originally was like the story was originally that we knew for Finan was that his world was destroyed and Cyrene was killed by the Flame Reaver, right? That's what we can gather, right? At least from the blade that we saw on her chest, right? Then we saw we were put into that world, and then we saw that all the people in his village died, but then we were a part of it. And now he's talking about it as if like none of that happened, or at least Cyrene didn't die in it. It feels like we're getting like a glimpse into like, I don't know, like what could have been, but then again, it doesn't explain like why we're buds. You know what I mean?
I hope you
Gorgeous.
still remember your purpose, new
Ruff, ruff.
recruit.
You seem awfully confident, Kremnoan. Let's see how you define the idea of weight.
For your information, in Castrum Kremnos, the punishment for profaning a duel with such crooked words is impalement.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, man, this is so strange, but it's also just an excitement there of like, man, this is leading to something huge, right? That's what the excitement is.
But as we're in foreign lands, I'll indulge you.
The smug look as well.
The signet of Kremnos, the crown jewel of our people. That's my choice.
Whoa. Look at this smug look at him, man. So pretty.
A ring. Not just any ornament, I'd wager. What's the story behind this little treasure?
Don't push your luck. Think I'd pour my heart out to
Oh
you?
my god. And what's so funny is about these two guys is eventually, like, and they don't do it in public. It's so cute that like, and it literally happens this way. Like it's not even me exaggerating. Everyone will leave. It'll just be the two of them, and then all of a sudden they like open up like, you know, a storybook that has been blowing in the wind. You know what I mean? Like a paper book that blows in the wind. They're like they open up completely to each other, and then as soon as they're back around in front of other people, they're like, huh. Let's go to the bats and have a competition. And I want to be clear. It's not that they're fake, right? And it's not that they're trying to hide something. It's that subconsciously they do trust each other so much. It's not that they don't trust other people, but like they trust each other more than anyone. So like this thing happens where like they have to keep up this competitive spirit for the world as well, and for themselves in their own subconscious mind. But when they're alone, it's almost like they feel really comfortable where they're like, okay, like we can still be competitive, but let's talk. And it's almost like involuntary in a way.
Just know that Kremnos' 1,000 years of glory could bring a titan to its knees. Let alone a nobody like you.
You're gonna bring Finan to his... Okay, no. Calvin, do not finish that sentence.
So to him, glory and his people outweigh the entire world.
So yeah, so it's what you value, I guess, right?
And the very destiny that Mighty himself will eventually shoulder.
Yes. What a way to, like, foreshadow that in a way, right? Something that's always meant something to be, even though Kratos doubted him. You gonna take that from him? Huh? You gonna take it from him? I'd go over there and... No. Okay, we gotta stop. We just gotta stop. You know what I mean?
Don't overthink it, Finan. Trust your heart.
Hell yeah. He goes over, grabs Mighty, and puts him on the pedestal. What are you doing? Deliverer. Stop that. You're holding me too tight. I need to stop.
Well, that's easy for you to say. I'm just a Holy City guard up against Kremnos' walking war machine of a prince.
And again, this whole thing of a Holy City guard, because again, he was someone who was plucked from a terrifying situation, but now it's a situation where, like, it's like he, the way he's making it sound is he made like a transfer job or something, you know? Guys, I'm going to work in Akama, you know?
Don't you think this is a little bit too unfair?
Like, it's crazy to me. I don't know, man. It's making me feel so nervous. It's making me feel so nervous. Accept the test. I will.
Now, this is a tough one. What can I possibly offer against a ring that signifies so much?
It's what you value, right? And it's more important to have, like, what you value than anything, you know?
Well, comrade, what does your gut tell you?
The Deliverer card, the blade you carry, a heart of steel. The Deliverer card? Like the one that was given to him by, Cyrene?
Looks like we really are on the same wavelength.
Because maybe it's like the idea of the future matters more to him in a way? The prophecy, maybe, in some ways? People surviving?
In the end, there's only one thing I can trust. The Deliverer that appeared in my life on that day. How ironic. I can't even look at this card properly, much less follow where it leads.
The Deliverer that appeared in my life on that day. What is he referring to here?
Just thinking about how my village was...
Oh, the Black Tide?
swallowed
So
by
what, the Black Tide still happened?
Makes my hands shake. The flames, the screams.
What?
My utter failure to protect
So this
anyone.
is still affected him, but the way he described it was like, oh, I left just maybe left somewhere else to come here. It sounded way more gentle the way he described it first, but Cyrene survived this whole battle here. And we know this is a big traumatic experience for him, by the way. It was horrible.
Speaking rationally, I know it's not nearly enough. Addis Elysiae was just a small village. Its loss barely a scar on Amphoreus' face.
That's not the way to look at this ever, Finon.
But here and now, my heart says something else.
Man, that world meant the world to you. That was everything to you. That was your life. You know what I mean?
This car. It's everything I have left. Nothing weighs heavier.
And again, the voice actor being an absolutely astounding voice. And again, I always want to say, like, to me, not because I'm like, I ever think that, like, you have to do a praise with another praise. But I also just want to praise in general the Hoyoverse voice acting and directing, right? Because that's a big thing for me. And it's the same I feel like in Genshin. The understanding that these people have of their characters is incredible. And I do think it comes from like having talented voice actors, of course, but I also think there is like directors there that like are so good at being like, this is who your character is. And then it's up to those voice actors to really accept that information and understand who their character is in terms of the story. And maybe even like play the games, maybe even learn after that and then be like, okay, this is who my character is. Finon's voice actor has, time and time again, just like shown what it means to truly understand your character and the heavy moments that weigh heavily on your character.
Perhaps that itself is the answer.
Is that Cyrene?
Look, Finon.
There's no way.
It's so nice
What?
to see you all again. Lady Cyrene, Finon, and...
And
hello. Seeing you here sure is a sweet
why is
surprise.
it? It's more of a surprise to see you here. Yeah, that if someone's wrong before, it's like her saying it's a surprise to see me. It's more of a surprise to see her.
Why so surprised? Could it be... Did you miss me?
Sure.
Cyrene? This is incredible. I was literally just thinking about how you might be here. But I'd never imagined I'd see you this soon.
This is so strange, man. This is so strange. Why does Lycus want us to see this?
I was supposed to leave with the priests, but then I heard Lady Maiden was with a white-haired young man.
I was supposed to leave with the priest, but then I heard that Lady Maiden was okay, so like us?
I figured it had to be you, so I
Or
snapped
Cyrene.
back here.
That's Cyrene for you. Unfortunately, this isn't a good time for reminiscing. That Kremnoan over there.
He's just standing over there?
Still playing house, boy?
Oh my god. Him just standing over there is actually hilarious when everyone's having a conversation.
You get the idea.
Quite the hothead. You know, you two just might get along.
Yes, she gets it. She gets it. She's us. She's all of us in the crowd. Look at his smiley face.
Don't worry. You already know what the answer is, don't you? If that's your choice, I am with you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it is. I think that, like, you know, him saying like, oh, like it's only a scar on the face of Amphoreus, but like it still is very, very important to him, right? And it's something that like that is impacted his whole life. But man, like this stuff with Cyrene is so strange to me. Like she's showing up here being like, yo, fancy seeing you here. We should be like, you know, mental breakdown seeing you here. You know, like.
I am with you because I remember it all too. The fields of Ide Silicii, those red leaves, that little swing of mine beneath the tree where I dreamed the sweetest dreams. And those dear fairies in the Membrance Maze. It hurts so much knowing they're gone forever. The pain speaks for itself. Our hometown may have been just a tiny village, but to us, it was the whole world.
She put it better than I ever could, to be honest.
But that's not enough, Finan. Not nearly enough.
Oh, yeah?
Even though hatred can help people grow and turn a boy into an unbreakable warrior, what you need now is victory. You can't just stack the scales with your past suffering.
You can't stack the scales with your past suffering.
You have to throw the weight of your future onto them as well.
Man, I'm not trying to give myself credit here, but like I thought that's what kind of represented like the card for me. It was the idea of like the future, right? How the future is important to it as well. But like, you know, obviously maybe like it's gonna be phrased differently. So I'm not trying to be like I knew it, but like I feel like, you know, a tarot card being the future is not, you know, it's not like we didn't all think that, you know.
The future? What do you mean?
Maybe that was a bit too cryptic for you, but it's actually really simple.
It's so strange she's just standing here all natural. It's so crazy to me.
Why not have our mutual friend here stand on the scales with the deliverer?
Wait, so we represent the future?
How about it? Can you help us?
Me?
Of course. After all, you're what we aspire to.
What? I mean, like, yeah, Stell's amazing. Stell's incredible, right? She's absolutely amazing, but like, what does that mean, like, in terms of all we aspire to, like, in this, like, freaking weird thing Lycus is showing us, you know? Because to us, we're lifelong friends of Finan here.
Let's try that. The fate of Akama hangs on this duel. I must claim victory, for their sake. I will stake everything I have. Stand with me, comrade, and we shall become heroes.
Remember the past and become the hero of tomorrow? What are you talking about?
Let's. Together we'll prove that what weighs more than the fate of the world.
Yes, so to me, that's what we were kind of thinking. Maybe it's like the idea of like, yeah, we are, like, we focus on the past and respect the past, but we have to look to the future.
Is the resolve to shoulder an immutable past and carry it into the
That's
future.
what weighs more, is the idea of like, and I wonder if it is like the idea of Stella is representing the future in some way. So then it's like, yeah, we shoulder what happened in the past, the weight of what happened before, and we look towards the future.
Talantin, the fair, the just, they of unassailable integrity. The challengers have made their choices. In the name of the Holy Maiden of the Three Fates, lower your scales, weigh destiny, and reveal unto us your verdict.
Your offering is a card?
It's, you know what's so funny about this with Mightimos being like a card, you know? Like, it's going to take some time, but I truly believe Mightimos of now would understand this choice. You know what I mean? Knowing that, like, the glory aspect of, like, Castrum Kremlis isn't what's really important, and it's more the protection of his people and their future as well, you know what I mean? So I feel like the Mightimos of now would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know?
Yes, a flimsy little card. That is my choice. Just know that it's called the Deliverer.
I think Finan has gotten prettier every single chapter, and I think it's probably because, like, I think when I first met him, I thought he had like his outfit looked a little bit like too bulky to me and stuff, I guess, as well. And like, I think it's also because like I genuinely think when you get to know someone's personality in a game, it can make them cuter as well. You know what I mean? When he became just more than just the hero, I feel like, you know, you start noticing people more, you know?
Interesting. Very well. If you can beat me with this card, then that's what I'll call you from now on.
Wait, so again, I know this is a warped reality of some kind that Lygus is showing us, but does that mean that this is where Mightimos actually legitimately got the nickname Deliverer from? Was from the card? He's just like, yeah, if you beat me with this, then I'll call you that.
It's a
So him
deal.
calling that all this time was a bet. That's so cool.
The scales, they're wavering.
Talantin is deliberating on the outcome. It appears the convictions of both sides are equally matched.
Very cool. Very cool.
This is suffocating. Like the whole world's weight is on my shoulders. But I believe what my heart tells
Lovely
me.
stuff. Oh, wow. Is that Tantalon?
Finally decided?
Hear thee, children of humanity. I shall pronounce judgment, for the difference is now clear. The one whose offering weighs more than the fate of the world is... one from Ides Elysiae, the nameless hero.
So they're seeing as Finon maybe just by a tiny bit. Is that that's interesting? It's so interesting. Which it makes sense. It does make sense. But I do love that they acknowledge that like Mightimos' convictions are still very heavy. You know what I mean? Because they are. His want to protect the people. But obviously, yeah, that's fine. That's really nice to hear. Oh no, it's actually very differently weighed. Okay. I guess so. Because my thought was like the whole thing was like when I was thinking it was like the idea that like, yeah, Finon's was more of like less about the idea of glory and stuff like this as well. But I still like that they acknowledge his convictions, but it looks like it actually is like very much like a different weight. They're very much so, yeah.
However, heed this.
He's like, both of you are gorgeous. Okay, stop fighting.
The true weight of conviction originates not from itself, but rather in that which tips the scales. Hope itself.
Like that look towards the future, the one for a better tomorrow, the one for something better in the future.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think the Titan means that it's not anyone's personal convictions that outweigh the fate of the world.
Okay.
It's about a wish, one which we all share.
Okay.
You, me, everyone here. What tipped the scales wasn't Finan's conviction alone, but the collective hopes carried by this oracle card. Humanity's desperate call for a deliverer.
So it's like the way I was thinking there is like, again, we acknowledge Mightimos' convictions, but as you said, like, you know, it's like very like, it's not just convictions, it's not just like a need to like, you know, for glory or to protect your people. Which again would change over time, by the way, because he did care about his people. He cared so much about his people, but obviously it was in different ways. It was less about the traditional ways of Castrum Kremnos after a while and became more a thing about like making sure that they were safe in Akama, right? Rather than them having this glory or whatever. But it's the fact that it's not the fact that like you have a strong like I want to help out, I want to do this, I want to be able to do this. It's a hope. It's the idea that this oracle card that looks towards the future is looking for someone to deliver them to this future.
Yes.
Okay.
Even you and your people, Kremnoan.
Placing us both on the same side of the scales? Foolish. We Kremnoans are your mortal enemies. Such weak idealism will only get you skewered on
Again,
our
the
spears.
Mightimos of today would say something different. The Mightimos of today, the Mightimos of right now, would be glad to have, and is glad to have someone like Finon that would look after the Kremnoan people in Akama. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so interesting to see the change in Mightimos over time, right? Because now he is very much not only a supporter of Finon, right? He's basically like Finon's like, you know, force ghost that shows up every once in a while to support him, you know what I mean? He's also like someone who like, I'm gonna say the Mightimos of today, but I know Mightimos is dead, by the way. That's it's so horrible to say, by the way. Like, I just meant like the Mightimos of now, but yeah, I'm sorry to say it that way. But yeah, he would, he would be happy to have someone like Fine and put them on the same side of the scales.
Fine by me. I've never claimed to be the deliverer from the card anyway.
Oh, have you not?
I'm a soldier. And if it's my fate to bleed my last on the battlefield, then so be it. I'll fight to my last breath. And on this, I know that we're the same.
Again, trying to find relations here as well. But again, I truly believe that, like, it's so interesting seeing, like, where they were at this point. Again, I know this is, like, a weird, like, something that's happening here with, like, Cyrene and all this stuff. Like, it's a weird reality. But I do think that a lot of the feelings could stay the same, right? Where it's, like, 110% I believe that Finon felt this way. Finon did not have aspirations of anything mighty. He didn't have any aspirations of being something incredible. He didn't even have aspirations of being a soldier. He just wanted to live life in peace. So him saying this right now doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that he's saying this whatsoever. It also doesn't surprise me that Mightimus now is saying, like, hey, you know, don't put us on the same side. But also we have to acknowledge, as I said, in the future, both of them would feel very differently. You know what I mean? In my view, anyway. Because while Mightimus still, like, you know, believes in, like, the Kremnoan people and all this stuff as well, and, like, you know, some of their ideals, as I said, he's going to be glad to have someone like Finon looking out for them, you know?
That's all a hero really is. Someone with that kind of conviction. And the deliverer? Just a sum of all those heroes.
Man, he was meant to be. He doesn't even know what he was meant to be.
A brilliant explanation.
Crazy, man. Like, it didn't hit me as hard because I know Mightimus is gone as well, but, like, seeing Hyacinthia, Aglaya, Finon, and Mightimus all in the same place. Like, if we see like, imagine if Castor showed up as well, and, like, Cypher showed up as well, and Anaxagoras showed up as well, and, you know, Tribi and Trian. It would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy.
Just as prophesied, on this day, the final two heroes shall join the flame.
So that was even prophesied that, like, oh my god, it's like, this prophecy's crazy.
I should have known from the start. They all say Lady Goldweaver is quite brazen, but you're the first to even imagine that prophecies could persuade a Kremnos warrior.
You can tell there's already, like, a little bit of respect there for her, right? For sure.
Oh, I have 1,000 ways to tame a lion. But this lion didn't come here for bloodshed.
Wow.
Did he?
The Kremnoans far outmatch Occam's forces, yet we haven't lost a single soul. That's no accident, is it?
It's such an interesting way to look at it. They're so smart. They're so smart.
Do you honestly think Kremnoans, renowned for our love of battle, would show mercy?
Dude, you're gonna fall in love with this place. You're gonna fall in love with this place.
Your forces are equally renowned for their iron discipline.
A warrior wants no not use it was a sheath or sword.
And so, we can only assume that this is on your orders.
I love that they're all, like, clocking him one after another, you know?
Perhaps Akama isn't as hidebound as the rumors say. You grasp the true marrow of power more clearly than those elders.
The elders suck.
Now that the wheels of fate are turning, what finer way to celebrate this fortuitous encounter than a feast?
A feast?
Follow me, brave outlanders. Heroes of this world are as countless as the stars. And at this moment, we find ourselves gathered here by the light of the flames of the long night. History shall remember this moment. The prophesied Chrysos heirs now stand assembled, heralding a new dawn for Amphoreus.
We're literally seeing the like, that's so cool to see, by the way, the last two, like, Chrysos eras that are prophesized. And we're basically seeing, like, almost like this is the start of the race. I know the start of the race you could say is beforehand, but I feel like that's all prep, right? This is it. Yes, Stell, please, let's go. Let's start to get confused with me, please. I feel I was alone when Stella's confused for a bit, then she goes in and, like, and joins it. Stella's the perfect person for this type of story, because she's just crazy enough to go along with, like, the crazy stuff happening for a while, right? But for me, like, I feel like I'm the weird one for being confused more than Stella, even.
You must see it now, how different this is from the flame-chased journey you traveled.
So explain it, please, Lygus. Please. What's happening? Just whose memories are these? And whose role am I playing is such a great phrase. Oh my god.
Who? perhaps the role is not that of a person
Wait.
who really existed. Notice how only two particular individuals seem aware of your presence.
Wait, so nobody else has, like, noticed us?
Patience. We're approaching the final
What?
act. These are, as I mentioned, his first memories. They are of particular importance for the imminent Era Nova.
And again, like is doing the patience thing. He's exactly how I described his way of giving information, but like, he's saying that like it's possible that we didn't even exist in this. That we're playing the role of someone who didn't even exist, because the only two people that notice this are Cyrene and Finon.
Such as this very moment, as the prophesied demigods gather with Talentum as witness.
This is the moment when the Flame Chase journey kind of began. Not began, but like where everyone kind of assembled for the first time, right? In terms of the final two.
This
here we go.
Is a moment calculated by the gods. What comes after is no different from that which you already know. Some join, others leave, while flame chasers bear their faint light forward through the long night.
So is that the idea of once again carrying people's memory with them, right? Some join, some others leave, right? So like you're gonna get more people joining the Flame Chase journey. Some will leave, but the ones who remain, the Flame Chasers, will bear that light and carry them forward.
Come. Your seat awaits. After 13 heartbeats.
13?
Our heroes will be ferried to the final scene.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to be ferried to the final scene, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being real with you. Well, what's happening now?
They say that the heroes of this world should be as countless as the stars.
Okay. I'm so nervous.
Yet now, we're the only ones left standing.
What?
So, in the end, the black tide still swallowed everything.
Wait. So, first of all, crazy image, by the way, and like intense art here. But is this by saying that like how the other Flame Chasers, the other Chrysos heirs are all gone? Like, Anaxagoras dead. Hyacinthia became did her ascension ritual, right? And became, or like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Castrus gone beyond into the River of Souls. You know what I mean? I don't have to describe where everyone went, but you know what I mean? Like, is this what it means? But then Cyrene is still here too.
The West stands protected by mighty Scrimnoans. It will hold for the time being.
What?
Professor Anexa deployed wards in the north and east before. Their effectiveness is untested, but I believe in him. And Akama.
Wait, is he saying... This doesn't sound like reality, because Midamos went by himself. But the way they said Crimnoans too.
We needn't fear for Aglaya. Even in death, she counts as the greatest among demigods. Her threads of romance weave an impenetrable shield, and the people answer her call, rallying to the city's defense.
This is I really need to understand what's happening all the time right now.
Let's move. Cavalry has given their core flame. We must complete the Era Nova before the next entry hour.
And we know
For Amphoreus.
We know that like when he almost like completed the Era Nova, almost like, did the Ascension ritual. Lygus paused the world.
That only leaves 3 hours.
Stop.
So, this is the last time we'll see her.
Akama? Like as an Akama as a person, naming it as a person?
Finon. We set out on this journey to answer the world's desire, didn't we?
What?
That's what it means to be a Chrysos heir. So has it always been.
Man, my heart is pounding.
Then why? Why must Amphoreus' wishes be so cruel? We made the best choices we could, whenever we could. And in the end, the prophecy that led us, this black tide swallowing everything.
Is she talking about how so many people have died? The black tide has made people suffer. And even like civilians have died as well. Like this journey has led to like some really horrific moments.
Why does it look like this?
Yeah, like an Akuma in such a destitute form. Man, my heart is pounding.
I don't know. We haven't had any other choice except to move forward. Not for a long time now.
It's just to keep going, and it really felt like that during the whole journey during Amphoreus so far. It's just like it felt like people would literally fall off the wagon, and the wagon had to keep going. You know what I mean? That's a phrase for people getting drunk again. I more meant as like falling off the car, like they left our transportation device as we had to just keep going. You know?
Even if we only see the long, long night ahead, I still believe that through it, we'll find the dawn on the other side. Beyond these flames, a new sun will someday rise. So, to the Temple of the Three Fates. You'll take over Time's authority, and we'll return all the core flames to the vortex. Then put this world's fate to its final
She was
rest.
supposed to be the priest of Ornyx, right? An Ornyx priest. That was her prophecy before she died.
After which, we shall all face oblivion, or embark on one final grand journey.
What the hell are we getting into? Act 3 return? Is this the final act then? And there's Ornyx, man. What the freaking hell? Because again, the meat and potatoes of this whole thing seem kind of very like familiar, right? The idea of like finally looking up at the Dawn device, sword in hand, talking about how this world has been destroyed, how he has to keep moving forward, how he's shouldering the dreams and the wishes of this world on his shoulders and the memories of people as well, how they must face oblivion in the Era Nova. But adding Cyrene there adds like a flavor to this that is so unfamiliar, right? It feels so strange, it feels so out there. It changes like so much of like our understanding of this, you know?
Please forgive us for disturbing your sleep, Ornyx.
And Ornyx is here too! Like that's, you know what I mean?
It matters not. I know fate has run its course.
Man, my heart is not doing good. My heart is not doing good.
The black tide has reached Akuma. Amphoreus does not have much time left. It is time for the Era Nova.
As agreed, I shall present the core flame of time. Ride the river of time. It will guard your passage to the vortex of Genesis. Step through and witness.
Like, am I supposed to be? I know it's like you know what I mean. Like you're supposed to feel whatever like you want, or whatever you feel like. Right now, I feel very like nervous and confused and worried. I have all these feelings in me that like it's just making my heart pound, and like it feels like my body is colder than it should be. You know what I mean?
Professor Anaxa proved the truth of Genesis with his sacrifice.
Yes.
As Chrysos heirs of the prophecy, we were always destined to immolate ourselves for this world.
And that's the thing, the meat and potatoes is still there. The meat and potatoes of what we knew in our reality were all there. Are all here, I should say.
Now, it's our turn. We can't let everyone's sacrifices be in vain.
I don't need another pep talk, Finan. After all, we've been ready to fight fate ever since we left the village, haven't we?
And look at the smile on her face as well. Because usually we play Honkai Star Rail kind of like moving forward in the chair, you know what I mean? Kind of like very much like, oh, what's going to happen next? This is one of those rare times where I feel like I'm moving back a little bit, kind of like, you know, worried about... It's almost like, there's just something about to explode in front of me and I don't want it to, like, you know, hit me. You know what I mean? I don't want it to hit anybody.
Yeah. Come. Let's claim the miracle we were promised and burn away every last shadow in this world.
And then rise as the first light of a new world.
Light calendar 4931, the third week of the month of Evernight. Welcome, my lady, to the end of the flame chase. And the end of all things. The Titan has revealed the gateway of fate. Please, accept the invitation to step across the threshold and behold.
Jesus Christ, Lygus. Please. I hope it... Oh, God. I hope it doesn't seem like I'm, like, sitting here kind of being frustrated at Lygus. I understand, like, what he's trying to do here. He wants to show us rather than tell us, right? He wants us to experience this rather than for us to just hear it from him. Whatever he wants to experience, but holy hell, man. He just makes me so nervous.
Beyond this gate lies the new world that our heroes sought through their trials, as well as the terminus that the owner of these long memories has been hurtling towards their entire life.
Owner of these memories. Is that Finon then? Right? Like the owner of these long memories has been hurtling towards their entire life. Could that be Finon then?
Perhaps you'll find it all too familiar.
Man, this is so Lygus trademark copyright. Look at this. You know, as you said last time, Lygus, what is this? All in due time.
Then you'll understand how the mortal called Finon shouldered the world's weight.
Wait.
How that same burden crushed him.
Lygus.
Proving
Lygus.
that the so-called deliverer
What?
is nothing more than Amphoreus' own delusion. A pitiful fantasy.
No.
That it could defy fate's decree.
Wait, so something bad happened? Something bad happened to Finon then? What do you like? Because the way Lygus is talking, he's saying that, like, this is a fantasy. It's like the idea that they thought that they could change anything. That even Anaxagoras, who thought he could change things, doesn't see it that way. What the hell, man, Lygus?
Please, esteemed one. The answers you seek lie in these non-existent
Non-existent. So like they're not real. They don't exist. What are we doing? Non-existent times. What are we doing? Such a crazy presence this too. Guys, I'd love to sit here and speculate on everything, but I'll be honest, like, I think I would just be very much, like, wrong. But all I can say is that, like, he said this is, like, Finon's going to be crushed under the weight of the weight he's carrying. And we're going to realize that this idea of a deliverer who's going to change the world that Anaxagoras believed in, that Aglaia believed in, was nothing more than a fantasy. So something happens to Finon here. But he also said non-existent world. So does that mean this is like a... I don't want to say, like, I don't want the word you use for it. Is it kind of like, if you're saying non-existent reality, or non-existent world, or non-existent existence even, what you would say is, like, this is like a reality that's just not there, right? It's not the reality that we know. I don't know, man. I'm very worried. Kafka, save me.
The future revealed by the Titan.
Just what will we see?
I don't think I want to see anything. How about that? I think I'd rather not see a thing. How about that? Whatever's happening here, I'm nervous as heck. Lygus is gonna be like, where'd you get your shoes? The shoe store? Ah, yes, shoe store.
The vortex of Genesis. So it is here. But
Was she like even questioning that it would be here at all?
just what is this?
Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more.
Life is but a walking shadow, poor player that struts and frets. Like the idea, it's like, hey, life is just like, hey, it's a random person arrives and then leaves and then is never heard from again.
It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Jesus Christ, like, is again great voice actor for Lygus as well, but like,
The vortex of Genesis, where the world begins and ends. What
oh, he's enjoying this
stage
too
could
much.
be more befitting of our final act? Come, I beseech you onward, buoyed by your surging curiosity.
it's just, again, I'm gonna take a screenshot of all this stuff as well, just so I can have this like specific line here as well. Like, it's a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. That's what life is to him. It's a player upon the stage I'll be forgotten and is heard from no more. There's a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. So like, life is meaningless? Is that where we're getting it here? Life is meaningless?
As an unattainable
Oh.
existence that has dwelled within his heart, beyond his reach, you have accompanied him through the march of years uncounted. You naturally have the right to view the river of time in its fullness, and to witness what he welcomed upon his arrival here. Every
Oh my God, no.
and tragic ending.
Again, the idea of like what he welcomed, every absurd and tragic ending. Something's gonna happen here that if you're saying welcomed, it means he brought something upon this world, or brought something with him, or invited something in, even unwillingly. And he's saying again, like, this an unattainable existence has dwelled within his heart. We've accompanied him, but we were never accounted for, so we like, we didn't get the credit for that as well. So whatever's gonna happen here,
If you would.
legitimately whatever is going to happen here is going to backfire on Finon.
My journey to the
Right, almost?
When the Aranova
Hi,
comes,
Cynthia.
the skies will clear again.
Deliver.
Enough talk.
Though you
Go.
Is that Anaxagoras?
So what if there's only one person left?
This is such an interesting way of doing things as well. There was casters there as well.
Go on, Snowy.
Oh
Make
no.
the Aranova
That's Trianne, right? But yeah, whatever's about to happen here is about to be tragic. Whatever's about to happen here is about to be tragic for Finon. It's not the prophecy that we thought it was. But then again, here's the thing. Like, it's not that we ever sat here and thought that the Aranova was going to, like, be, like, this perfectly amazing thing all the time, right? Because it already, like, was brought forth with tragedy. But, like, obviously, like, I didn't think it was going to be something that was going to be, like, devastating to Finon. I thought it would bring on new problems, of course, if they ever, like, did it before, like, the end of the story. But I didn't know, like, what extent, like, I didn't know it was going to be this, like, tragic. He used the word tragedy. He used the word tragedy.
None of that matters now. This brutal, flame-chased journey has stripped away my delusions. I know the future is in some peaceful paradise with gentle west winds, just waiting to welcome us to step in.
Wait. This is what he said to Lygus at the time, right? This is what he said to him. Because he said he no longer has this like vision of like this beautiful world. He knows that this flame chase journey has brought along so much pain as well to them.
This will be a romantic story like none that has come before.
I think I've been using the term romantic to describe this story since the start. And usually I just go like, I'm not saying I'm smart, you know, because I want to make it clear that I don't think it's like I'm like this wise guru that can like, you know, all of a sudden when the themes come up that I talked about are true. It's like, it doesn't mean that I'm like some visionary. But this time around, I'm saying that I feel like I was very in tune with the Amphoreus story, I feel like. Personally, I feel like not in like a smart way, but more of like an attachment way. I think that I vibed with it very early on, in my opinion.
You think so too, right?
This is the rest of the Finon and Cyrene's story. Haven't I seen this scene before? Wait a second, that was... Remember when Cyrene showed up before? And... we were like, where'd she go? Where'd she go? So that was like a non-existent reality?
Ah, indeed. In his memories, such a scene replays over and over. Though the details may differ, this remains ever the same. All shall bid farewell to one.
That's what they said before as well.
And that person alone will witness the miracle.
I mean, I want to keep this in my mind, so I'm screenshotting it.
A total of 33,550,335 times.
That's wait, no. Finon has gone through his memories that many times of his whole life, or just this moment of the Aeronova? Stop.
Each is a drop from the river of time, representing the long journey he would take.
Alternate realities?
Or rather,
like it's like what could have been?
a never-ending cycle.
Wait, are you saying that... Wait, so is it... Stop. Wait, no. Wait, no. Are they saying that the cycle continued that many times? And it created like different... No. The never-ending cycle is these... a journey he would have taken?
Just putting it in terms that might be easier for you to understand.
So Finon has gone through in his memories. He replays this scene over and over again. But it's always the same in the end, which is all shall bid farewell to one. And he's gone through it a total of 33,550,335 times. That is insane. Each is a drop in from the river of time, representing a long journey he would take. So every single time he goes through, it represents a journey he would have taken. And he calls it an never-ending cycle. So I don't know if it's that he's gone through the cycle over and over again, or if it's an idea like in his mind he's going through a cycle. Like, how about to put in terms easier for me to understand? How about just say it? How would you say exactly what's happening?
Seeing is believing. Why not let your own two eyes uncover?
He's enjoying this. Lygus is enjoying this.
Or perhaps you can simply walk straight to the final truth. See the true face of the character you play, and witness the ultimate nature of the Chrysos heirs, flame-chased journey, and the cycles of Amphoreus.
So he's saying you can get some extra information, or you can go directly to the end of this and see who we're actually playing in this play, the uncounted person, right? And understand everything. The Chrysos heirs, the flame chased journey, the cycles of Amphoreus. We understand everything if we go to this location right here, this one location. That's what he's saying.
Please, take your time. Look around as much as you wish.
Honestly, though, like, I don't like more information. I'm not going to look at those little fragments, those little itty-bitty fragments. What do they got to do with me? Right, oh, I'm going to look at these fragments. Of course I'm going to look at the fragments. So, just to be, you know, to talk about Lygus for a second. Yes, he frustrates me. Yes, he does. Of course he does. And you could say it's all with Calvin, you just want all the information now. It's not that. Like, I've really enjoyed this, like, really, like, mind-bending journey through these different passages. But it also, rather than him, like, as soon as he said, like, oh, I'm just putting in terms of easy for you to understand, it's like, no, you're not. Like, you know you're not. You know what I mean? You love the fact that this is, like, an agonizing thing. You love the fact that, like, we're being a little bit confused here. That's why you have a chuckle every once in a while about this. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, like, he's a neutral character that enjoys seeing us be, like, a bit confused. You know what I mean? His neutrality doesn't extend to his everyday life, I guess. Someone's gonna be like, Calvin, that's not neutrality. Be neutral and give me the information. How about that? Be neutral. Mr. Neutral Man, Neutral Johnson, Neutral Parker, Neutral McGee, Neutral McGraw, Neutral O'Reilly. Come on. Give us the information. Let's look at all these little pieces of information, I guess.
Not a single soul to be seen. So this is how the vortex looks at the end of days.
I do think that, like, it's kind of crazy that we're getting, like, these little pieces of information, these little fragments, because, and they're optional, because I think that you've seen over and over again that it seems Amphoreus towards the later stages are making, like, almost everything optional at this stage.
Looks like I've got company after all. But since you've made it here, so in the end you succeeded. Executioner.
Executioner? Wait. So, okay, so we're seeing all the different types of memory fragments, which are, like, different possibilities of, like, what could have happened, right? So, is that Castris? Because remember they called her, like, the Executioner, right? Am I getting that completely wrong? But the way he said it was, he sounded kind of a little bit with vitriol, right? So maybe not? Because I think when I think of, like, when I think of, like, who was tasked as being executed, but he wouldn't call Castris an executioner. That's the thing, right? Yeah, I wouldn't see him doing that. I wouldn't see him calling Castris that. So I think it has to be someone else. Look at this. Oh my god, that's the 10,348,760. Oh my god. Yeah, I wouldn't see him calling Castris that with vitriol. It wouldn't happen.
Castris.
You see what I mean? Like...
Yes. I've become Death's demigod, and shall never again walk the world of the living. What you see is the surging of the river of souls, brought on by the countless dead feeding it in these dark times. They cry out. Though dead, they'll converge into a torrent and guard the vortex to see the Era Nova fulfilled.
So, like, the souls, like, still cry out trying to, like, complete this task in the end.
I will take all the wishes of the departed with me. Please, everyone, fight with me to the very last.
I hear them. The dead hail you. They're prepared. Go on, Deliverer. We'll keep that executioner in our shadows.
In our shadows.
The path before you leads to light and eternal flames.
So we'll keep this executioner in our past. So yeah, I knew, again, it was one of those things for a second, I was like, there's no way it could be Castris was called an executioner, but Finam would never call her that. So then Castris shows up here in this alternate world saying, in this one the executioner shows up. In this one, Castris is like, yo, like, we'll keep him in the shadows. Everyone's rooting for you, even the dead. Oh, Cypher.
There's water everywhere. This place is always so wet and sticky. Even my tail's getting heavy.
Poor Cypher.
Plus that burnt smell. And that sizzling noise. Yikes. Nobody from Dolos could stand this.
So you feel it too, huh?
Go on then. I'll handle the filth. Do what you need to do.
I'll handle... So, like, it's almost like both Castris and Cypher...
Let me fight with you. Better odds with
is, like, holding off? Like, is it... Are they holding off, like, the only person that'd be coming after Finder is, the Flame Reaver? Are they holding off the Flame Reaver?
Hey, remember what the seamstress said? You know.
Or it's just the Black Tide?
Yeah. I'll leave it to you then.
So in this...
Wow, someone's not shy. Just so you know, I'm not in the business of making losing deals. I'll distract that executioner.
I'll distract the executioner.
You go turn the world's biggest lie into truth. Let me become the first wind of your new world.
You go turn the world's biggest lie, the prophecy, which is... Okay, this is crazy. So, in this reality, I guess if we are talking about as different realities, in this reality, Cypher was fighting off this executioner. And the only reason my mind went to Flame Reaver is because that's the only person I can think that'll be coming after Finon. Unless there's another, like, you know, character that they could call executioner, but that's just what it appears to me, right? Is the idea of, like... Who else could be going after Finon? Who else could be because we know that they've been trying to stop Finon from completing the Aeronova. I suppose we're gonna see, but yeah, there's another reality with Cypher as well. Let's look at this one as well. This is super interesting, man. It's super interesting.
Just shut up and get out of
Oh,
here.
Mightimos. And they all seem to always be holding off this executioner.
Are you crazy, Mighty? Immortal or not, even if you're the demigod of strife.
Oh, I'm still no match for them.
No, I know you can. I just wanted to request that you witness the Aeronova with me.
I love that, like, again, there's no denying how close these two are. And again, it doesn't make him and Castris any less close, but like, but it just means, like, I feel like, you know, this is the first time you've seen him ask someone, like, to witness this together. You know what I mean? It's meant so much to them. They started their journey on the same day.
Together, let's prove that we're enough to transcend the prophesied fate.
Oh, Finon.
Could it be that now, at the critical juncture, our mighty deliverer is chickening out?
Do you see it that way?
Scared of a stupid prophecy?
He sees it that way at the very least.
I'll transcend the prophesied fate. All right. But I've got a better way. As the son of Gorgo, I'll prove myself with one last grand victory. Just like when I ripped out the old king's heart.
Oh my god, so like, it's so interesting, like in this, I guess, kind of like alternate way things could have gone. Mightimos never left. He never went to Kremnoa. He never went to Castrum Kremnos. He stayed here by Finon's side.
Go. Leave this to me. If the Black Tide creatures block
So
out
it is the Black
sun,
Tide.
then we Kremnoans will fight in the shade.
So sick, what a line.
And when I'm done with that executioner, we'll raise our cups where the west winds end.
It's just so freaking like crazy seeing all these all. And again, in this one, it is Might Almost Stay Behind. In this one, it's that Cypher had never died, but she fought alongside Fine in the end. In this one, Casterus did pass on, but she brought him like a tidings from the River of Souls. And in this one, he was all alone. Like, it's so crazy seeing these alternate realities now. Let's check this one as well. Is it gonna be all the Chrysosairs themselves? Now he's standing with the sword. Oh, Hyacinthia?
Hey, little one. Are you scared?
Is it Hyacinthia?
As brave as Hyacinth. Stay close, little Ika.
What? Wait, is Hyacinthia not actually here though?
What? No, not you two.
Oh no, man. What the hell are we doing?
I see. I won't squander your kindness. Your hopes. So please, keep this bit of sky standing for me.
Keep this bit of sky standing for me? So this is Hyacinthia has moved on. Ika's here though. And he's almost getting strength from Hyacinthia?
Well, now there's one last thing I need to do before the Aranova. Come, Executioner. Let this patch of clear sky show me where to strike.
Again, come Executioner. And they're making sure that they keep saying like come Executioner, right? Like they're not saying like an actual like name. They're making sure that we don't see the framing, all this stuff as well. They're making sure of this. And there's a Glaya
All shall
now.
bid farewell to one, and that person alone will witness the miracle. Such is the will of fate.
So even the future revealed by the Titans may not come to pass.
The Era Nova. This unrivaled masterpiece. I have no regrets now that I may entrust it to my most trusted apprentice.
Yeah, and we know that the trust she had in Finon is so great as well. It's so massive.
Are you saying?
Fate is ever unassailable. The golden threads tell me the black tide rushes toward the vortex.
And they keep mentioning the black tide, of course, too.
Ready to swallow this place. I must weave the last of my humanity into a net to hold back the deluge. I shall have my final bath in warm and radiant gold. Now, the hour of fulfillment has come.
I shall have my final battle. So that's what she meant as well. Remember, what actually happened to her was actually incredibly horrific in terms of that bath of gold, right? But the hour of fulfillment is obviously like to do with the Aranova as well. I don't know, man. It's
Forgive me. I must snip away every risk to weave the strongest future for the new world. There is nothing more to say.
Oh my god, what?
We part here. I shall personally dispatch that wretched executioner, not with threads of gold, but with the steel tip of a needle.
She's like she's gonna fight the executioner as well. Every one of them feels like they're standing up against the executioner, right? That's what they're saying here. Every one of them. Jesus Christ, man. These alternate realities are actually mind-bending. They are. They 100% mind-bending. Because it's so weird to even see, like, the alternate reality we're in there. With, you know, like the one we were just traveling around with Cyrene, right?
Treeby, look.
And now it's to do with Treeby.
We made it to the vortex.
So I'm guessing the last one will be Anaxagoras, possibly?
That prophesied future. The flower fields where the west wind ends. Era Nova. We're so close now. You can't speak anymore.
Was that the doll?
Please. Allow me to pause just a moment before I keep my promise.
So wait, so Final, like, as well, has just gone through millions upon millions of dosages of torture over and over again with these memories.
Let me answer your cruel fate.
So
by tearing that executioner's heart from the void.
yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, the fact that, like, every single time he's going through some amount of emotional torture again is so brutal. It's so brutal. And this time with Treeby. I'm guessing Anaxagoras, yes.
The vortex of Genesis. The last time I was here, I was returning the core flame of reason. I didn't have the time to observe it in too much detail back then. But a holy sanctuary of the Titans looks more like their frozen crypt to me.
He's, of course, to his dying breath, still, like, you know, a strong opposer of this stuff.
Well, all the core flames do lie here now. It's my honor to walk the final
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Professor.
Oh, getting ahead of ourselves, are we? Have you forgotten so quickly? I died for truth long ago. What walks with you now is but a thought in your mind.
Wait. Is he saying that, like, get a grip? Like, hey, I've already died, buddy. Like, this is all in your head.
Of course. How could I forget
Of course,
that?
Anaxagoras is, like, the most aware, right? For sure.
But I'll say the same to you. It's my honor to walk this final stretch with you.
Anaxagoras. You know, he believed so much in Final by the end.
Go. Stand tall and finish your final task.
He believed in him so much.
Yeah. Just leave it to me.
Time for that wretched executioner to pay what they owe.
And they both say at the same time, looking back again. They look back behind them, as if he's right there. So all these visions have, like, given us, like, an alternate reality of Final not only suffering, but then also the executioner being on his tail, and all these characters staying behind to fight them. Or in some cases, he fights alone for the honor of those characters. But they've all given him kind of like a different reality, and again, a different type of suffering. We've seen the possible worlds where he could have stood there with Cypher, with Anaxagoras, and Midamos, with the casters, all the Chrysos heirs. But the way that the prophecy is saying this is that in the end, all will lead to one. So even in those moments where he stands side by side with Aglaya, she's going to fight with her needle against the executioner, and you would assume probably die. So it's all still leading to one. I guess we have to go and talk to Lygus for the final memory now. I'm very, very worried. I think it's normal to be worried here, right? It's just more than normal. It's more than normal. We're all, like, biting our nails at this moment. We're all, like, heart-pounding, sweating.
You really think you're prepared?
Lygus.
Allow me to give you a warning, most earnest. Once you see what these memories hide, the world's course will be forever irreversible.
Wait, so everything's gonna change from this moment onward, like, because we see it? Show me the final memory, let's go. Let's go.
Very well. As you have made up your mind, let us bear witness together.
I have I feel like I'm gonna stop breathing, man. This is so. They built it just. Here's the thing. As much as like I get frustrated, like I think by Lygus, doing the whole like, in due time you'll know. I think that it's that's why I said like it's a two sides of the same mouth. It's like Lygus, please tell me. But at the same time, I'm like, this is so well built up in terms of the anxiety. You know what I mean?
As the sole audience of this eternal theater, I have been rapturously awaiting your arrival, and this, too, is the very reason I must show you everything.
So us specifically, us seeing this is gonna change everything?
I believe that since you've bathed in that eon's gaze...
Is that why? Because we were gazed upon by the Eon.
You can make Amphoreus' frozen fate flow once again.
Wait, so we can change the fact that they're... Because remember he was talking about how like it's futile, that the cycles will continue no matter what. There is no like changing of the fate, right? So does he mean that like this cycle that keeps happening, maybe that we can change that somehow? The tap of it. Very still. I'm so nervous.
Feeling a bit lost.
Yes.
As you now see, this scene marks the final act of the drama, Amphoreus.
Oh dear lord. I feel sick.
The final eternal recurrence created by this man's hand. And the last one this world shall undergo.
So it legitimately is different occurrences he's creating every single time, like a cycle. And this is the last one. Oh my freaking god. I'm sweating.
Behold, at the swordsman's side stands one he has sometimes called companion, other times comrade. That nameless hero, absent from the annals of history. She is the swordsman's ideal in his youth.
What?
The deliverer that guided him resolutely onward through fantasy. And now, in the name of the nameless,
hold on.
She has become
down.
An essential and inseparable part of the epic of Amphoreus.
What are we doing? She is a swordsman's ideal in his youth. The deliverer. So we're the deliverer? That guided him through fantasy. So through the different realities? And now in the name of the nameless, she becomes an essential and separate part of the epic of Amphoreus. So can you like I would love for Lygus to just say this in just directly. You know what I mean? Just lay it out there, even in bullet points if he wants to. We were his ideal in his youth, the deliverer that guided him through these fantasies. And now in the name of the nameless, she's become a big part of and separate part of the epic of Amphoreus.
And this time, under her
How does that work, though?
What choice shall the hero make? Whither shall the fate of the world flow?
My heart.
And what is the ultimate truth of the nature of Amphoreus?
Lygus, I need you just to look, grab me by the shoulders, sit me down, take out a chalkboard. Please. Because this line here is what's confusing me. It's the idea of, like, I understand, like, she did become an inseparable part of the epic of Amphoreus. We saw this happen, right? She became a big part of this story. But she was there before as an ideal. She is a swordsman's ideal in his youth. She was a part of his youth. Guiding him through fantasy is like guiding him through different realities to me. But we're the deliverer.
There are many mysteries yet to be
Please, unwound them.
But if I may, allow me to temporarily yield the stage to one far more fitting. Please put your hands together.
What are you
and
doing?
Give a rousing round of applause for they who will reveal the answers. and bring about the final end of the 33,550,336th flame chase journey.
When I say it, it doesn't sound as heavy. When Liga says it, it's like, yeah, it is heavy, like that much, you know? Who are you talking about?
The master of the countless memories we saw. The other important actor now stepping into the vortex.
What?
They who have already burnt their own self to cinder. The Flame Reaver.
Wait. So, like, the master of countless memories we saw? So he's controlled these memories, or he's been the ruler of these memories? The what? No. What are we doing? Did you see? He just destroyed Lygus! And Lygus just accepted it!
So, in the end, you succeed.
Oh my. He is the executioner, yeah.
With my flesh as kindling, like the first dawn of the new world.
Wait, what? Please! Hold on!
Has come to once again start everything.
Wait, so is he like every single time that fighting gets closest, is he like stopping him from like, does he continue the cycle once again? Oh, this music as well. Is that what's happening? They said he's the master of these memories. If he and he showed up in every single one of the alternate realities. So is he just destined to always show up and destroy Finon?
Don't get cocky now.
Hell.
Stand still.
I'm so terrified, guys.
Remember it. This won't take long.
I'm so terrified of what we can witness in this.
Going all in. Tabs on me.
This music as well, like, what the hell?
Relax.
That follow up. Okay, he's attacking the shield. That's good at least.
Small fry.
There's only one health bar, which is like not a good sign. That means there's much more to come. You know what I mean? If there's like one health bar, that means there's much more to come. Much more to come.
Time to say bye. Boom.
This is so freaking sick. No, there's no... Yeah, there's much more to come. There's much more to come.
Don't ask.
Whatever's going to happen after this is the star. Whatever. Because we battled the Flame Reaver a million... No, well, like 2 times before. The star of this has to be whatever comes after this. Right?
Or maybe I'll take it
Like, it's still an epic moment, but it's like one of those things where, like, we fought the Flame Reaver. Like, just recently we fought the Flame Reaver.
Relax.
As Cypher. It's... You know what I mean? The star of this comes after this. I'm getting so nervous.
Return to the great dream.
Watch your head.
Answer me. Will you be the blazing
Will you be the blazing sun?
Even if all creation burns to ash.
Will you be the blazing sun? I'm so freaking terrified.
Better hedge your bets. Going all in.
You know what we could do? You know what we could do? Chalkboard. Get a chalkboard out, just explain everything. Let's get the chalkboard out.
Stand still.
Chalkboard, yes.
What are you waiting for?
What store shall we go to get the chalkboard?
And for me to portray the king, well, you gotta make it worth my while.
I'm so guys, I have to describe, like, it's so crazy that, like, it's the first time I've fought a boss battle
now
where I'm more worried about what's gonna happen after the boss battle than what's happening in the boss battle.
Ignite the dawn!
You know what I mean? Get it, fine on. Oh my god, the voice acting. I'm so worried. Oh no, wait, you do it? Wait. Wait.
How is this possible?
What are you talking about? Wait. What? Wait, what?
The sons of destruction. Now twinned.
Now twinned?
Feel them set your blood ablaze.
Is that...
Your fury.
Is that final? Is that what he said? No twinned? Oh my god, this music. Is that... This music. His hair isn't it? No. He's white hair. I thought it was like, it's like final, but like he doesn't have as long as hair as final, right? What are we doing here?
May as well kill them all.
How would that even be possible anyway? What the frick? I was right, by the way, when I said, like, yeah, there's no way they're just gonna have, like, hey, just fight another Flame Reaver battle here. You know what I mean? That wasn't the star of this.
Stand still.
My Harris pound. This isn't right, guys.
This won't take long.
What is that?
Don't ask.
I thought it was an
Just
alabaster head for a second.
Sounds like more business.
This music is so good. Press the wrong button there, as you can see.
Good times never last.
Oh my god, I hope she says
Time
boom!
to say bye. Boom.
What even is that? Like, what are we looking at here? The master of these memories? Get him. I was going for it as well. This is so crazy, man. I keep saying it over and over again because I don't know what else to, like, how to describe it. Like, I'm sitting here, my heart's pounding.
I could take you one arm only.
Oh.
My fury.
Look at this.
Unchanging. Unceasing.
This music is so fantastic. Look at all of them over there. Look at all of them. Oh dear freaking lord. Oh dear lord. And look at all these stat boosts he has on him. And he's got 25 turns. It doesn't matter. It's fine. He's got 25 turns, but... He's got 85,000 turns.
Going all in. Tabs on me.
Jesus freaking Christ.
Stand still.
There's one. To weaken him, right? To weaken him. Oh wait, one just arrived again, so we have to just keep defeating these guys.
All in.
I'm in bits. Can we put a target on him to see what it says now? Like, does it still say Flame Reaver? We can't even target him. Jesus Christ.
Good times never last. Time to say bye.
Time to say bye, boom.
Boom.
Lovely stuff. There we go. Absolutely lovely stuff. This is such a crazy... Oh my god! Look at that! They said they like burned themselves, right? This form shall fuel the fire, like using themselves as like as the fire or the fuel.
Don't ask, just spend.
We're just having fun.
Jesus Christ.
What are you waiting for? The customer's king.
I'm holding my breath. We gotta gather ourselves because whatever's coming after this is gonna be even too more terrifying. I just know it. Whatever's to come.
Snap out of it.
One person alone. We witnessed the miracle. Such is the will of
One person alone. Does he mean himself? Does he mean himself?
person
Wait.
can only be.
No, he means Phainon. What? So he destroyed him.
Why not let wrath incinerate fate?
Wait. Is that what the... Chaos? Chaos? Did it say chaos? Chaos? What is happening? Kaos?
At last, Amphoreus' fate has begun to shift.
Wait, because he defeated the Flame Reaper?
I foretold, your arrival will change everything.
I am so... Guys, my throat is dry. Like I'm in a pit. Your arrival will change everything?
After
we're back here!
You've also been bathed in that Eon's gaze, which can awaken the long dormant instinct inside a man.
Wait, so the Aeon's gaze can awaken long dormant... Well, we're back here in the freaking museum of Don't Explain Everything again.
Much like that scepter we spoke of earlier, it was only under the same Eon's glance that it was reborn.
They talked about that, right? The idea of like, it was like a mixture of like the Memoria, the gaze, and like the already like, the scepter. And we learned about the scepters obviously like at the start of this as well when we were reading the data bank, the amount of like information this like scepter would have on awakening and having been gazed upon or glanced upon by Fury.
That's right. If you recall, I mentioned it at the very start of our play.
Sure.
The celestial body neuron, once belonging to the Erudition, abandoned by the Eon. Now, allow me
please,
to
Lycus.
The final
Lycus,
piece
I
of the
beg.
puzzle for
I
you.
beg. I beg of you. Please.
The eternal land, known as Amphoreus, is nothing more than the scepter's endless, lonely extrapolation.
What? Oh my. So, what's interesting about this is that, guys, again, this is like, if he's saying extrapolation, right? You're talking about is the idea that's like isn't it? It's kind of like saying like something could happen, something could be there. Like, oh, like you're almost like theorizing or making a good conclusion, I guess, in some ways that something could be there. The endless land as Northern 40 is nothing more than the scepter's endless lonely operation. Was it just like a theory or like estimate or something that this scepter had? Because my theory was that Amphoreus was created, I said this before, by the scepter mixed with Memoria was what created Amphoreus. But it seems like Amphoreus is like literally, it's a scientific extrapolation.
A bottomless well of fury.
What?
Aimed at the gods.
Look at the paint stripping.
Cast it aside.
It's a bottomless well of fury. Wait, so it was created because it was aimed at the gods? What? The final era nova before the eternal recurrence begins. The eternal recurrence. So like this is the last cycle. Sorry guys if I sound like an idiot here. I'm just trying to make sense of everything, or I really am.
Fine.
Cyrene as well. Because this to me, by the way, I'm going to save this as well. This to me sounds like when they say like a bottomless well of fury aimed at the god to cast it aside, right? That to me sounds like they created this, that this neuron created this scepter created this so it could get back at the gods, or maybe be gazed upon by the gods. But how would they use Amphoreus to get back at the gods or aim it at the gods? How would they do that? That I'm not... Is it the idea that they wanted to take the power of the gods? They wanted to take the power being gazed upon by Fury? They say the final era nova before the eternal recurrence begins. So the eternal recurrence is like, if all these are recurrences, every single one, the 300 whatever million recurrences, does that mean that this is what they're saying? When they say this is the final recurrence, they literally mean like, no more. This music as well, man. What the hell is happening?
We set out on this journey to answer the world's desire, didn't we?
Sure.
That's what it means to be a Chrysosaur. So has it always been.
Oh my.
Then why?
This music is beautiful.
Why must Amphoreus' wishes be so cruel?
Indeed. That was her freaking weapon. Wait. That's her staff. Was the Flame Reaver holding that as well?
We made the best choices we could, whenever we could.
Right.
But in the end, the prophecy that led us, this black tide swallowing everything. Why does it look like this?
Oh my god, is that what they... Is this the world's reality changing? Like the extrapolation, like shifting? It erasing itself? It's almost like a false sky or like a false world. Like that's what all the... Like remember we saw all the memories were like fading as well and they're becoming like holograms almost. Is this what it is? Like the world recurrence is literally just the world starting again, another extrapolation, another conclusion, another estimate. I would ask everything to calm down a little bit.
You see it too.
So they had to, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm saying sorry because I feel like I sound like I'm like a broken record and like I'm on the fritz. I'm like a machine on the fritz right now. I feel like I'm all over the place. I really feel like I am.
Those burn marks. The flickering cubes. They're not a tide at all. They're more like a shattered teleslate.
So wait, because this look like the black tide. Are we also saying then that the black tide that's been on the floor has literally been like a shattered screen? Like a shattered TV? You know when like a TV breaks and there's like parts of it that turn like pixelated?
Standing here, the voices of Titans have never been clearer.
So this whole time it's like the whole world is like a broken TV that was becoming more broken?
They were coming from the black tide all along.
The voices of the Titan came from the black tide?
Is that Amphoreus crying?
Or maybe it is screaming at its creator, at its god.
This music is so stunning. Holy hell, it's screaming at its creator, at its god? Like, screaming at... Noose? Screaming at Rubert? Screaming at Thule?
Finan, do you still remember when I was little? I had a dream. A dark, cold room with nothing but Orynyx's curtain glowing like crystal. The curtain seemed to contain all of Amphoreus, where strange and fantastic dramas played out within. There were countless versions of us, from countless different worlds.
Oh, what are we saying now?
Perhaps it wasn't a dream.
Like they're acknowledging in this moment that there are multiple different realities, multiple different types of like of occurrences, multiple different estimates of what could happen. It seems like this whole world is just made up of countless extrapolations, estimates, what could have been. It's much more crazy than I thought because I think we all kind of like could say like, oh, it's like a world maybe created by Memoria and a scepter mixed with like Thule's gaze, right? But if you told me, like, I'm glad you didn't tell me, that it's actually just like a bunch of countless different, like, realities, and not even just realities, it definitely seems like it is countless different, like, ideas, like estimates of what could be, what could happen, what these different cycles are, like different, like, oh, that could have been, that Casters could have been there, Cypher could have been there.
Yeah. As I gaze out at the world before me, those sorrowful thoughts have become reality.
The idea that she saw this as a kid and she was like it's become something real now.
So, this is the reason the sky was sealed. Amphoreus is merely a larger ID Silicii.
Merely a larger ID Silicii.
We are just characters in this tiny world.
Oh my god.
Following the prophecy, stepping onto the same journey over and over.
By the way, I want to say as well that I don't think that every single cycle is just like the idea of like what an estimate. I'm using that word as like because we use the word extrapolate, right? This extrapolation. I wanted to say like it is obviously like a thing where like it is a like these cycles appear to have happened, right? That's the way Lycus is talking about it. And they say extrapolation here as well, right? Stepping into on the same extrapolation journey over and over again. That's why I think the idea of, that's why I'm using the word estimates, because when I think of extrapolation, I think of the idea of like a educated estimate, right? And even like a conclusion is a good way to put it as well. An estimated like conclusion, right? You extrapolate on something with information, right? What could have been. And that's the way I think of it anyway. But she's saying we were just characters in a tiny laboratory. We were just like... Lycus talked about how we were like players on a stage. We're following the program instead of a prophecy. The program, stepping onto a journey, which is an extrapolation over and over again. So we're stepping onto these different like ideas over and over again, these different outcomes over and over again, these different conclusions over and over again. Oh boy, this is so crazy. I have no problem. I'm gonna look up extrapolation now as well, but just to make sure I'm right on what it is. I by the way, never feel bad about looking up a word. Anyone out there? The action of estimating, or concluding something by assuming that existing trends will continue. Yes. That's what I meant. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. It is like the idea of having like an educated conclusion because of something that's already happened, right? So like if you know that like if you know that it rains, if you know that it's sunny during the summer, you can assume that the sun is going to be there during the summer, right? In that kind of way. In this case, it's all these extrapolations, these different extrapolations over and over again come from an estimate of what possibly could have happened. These people, these characters, these Cyrene, Finon, they're all just people or characters, as I said, in this play, in this laboratory, this experimentation. Not a prophecy, a program. Not a journey, an extrapolation. Holy hell.
What then is this so-called Era Nova?
Is it just starting the extrapolation over and over again? The experiment over and over again?
And what are the spectators watching all of this, truly hoping for?
That's so sad, the idea of like someone like just using you as a pawn, like your whole life, by the way. Like you have to think of it that way. Like we live our lives for happiness, for growth, for sometimes for our lives being bad as well. Imagine that whole thing being for someone else's like extrapolation. Thank you.
As a reward for reaching the end
Oh
of the world.
my god.
Let me answer your question.
Please, please, Lycus. Please. Thank you. Love ya. Thank you. Please, please. Thank you so much.
As the Theoros, I have observed.
Observe. Please observe. My heart.
Thus is the synthesis of the prime mover of life
Prime mover.
formed.
Wait, that's not enough. That's not enough. At all. Is he saying the prime mover of life is related to what we just saw there now? Like these cycles? Or this redoing of this over and over again?
This is a moment the universe will remember. After millions of extrapolations, the experimental environment known as Amphoreus
Again, an experimental environment.
Finally achieved results.
We already knew that it was an experiment, didn't we? They said something about that before, about like it being kind of like an experimental environment. They said some of that before, right? They did say something about that before. I think it was at the start of this whole thing as well. Because we were talking about that with the idea of like it being Fooly. We said it could be Fooly, right?
So, the results you speak of are this wreckage of a world.
So the prime mover of life, the result is the wreckage of the world. The destruction of Amphoreus?
We all gave everything we had, returning 12 core flames to recreate
Yeah.
And in return, we become nothing more than sacrificial offerings at the end of everything.
That is so freaking brutal too. Like an experiment for this thing as well, by the way. An experiment. That's what this was in the end, an experiment. Which again, we knew that we already talked about how this world was like, you know, as we said, like what we said that we thought this world was, right? But like it's so much more at the end of everything, right? It's so much more, so much like it's even crazier than how we saw it in our minds, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. The Titans are Chrysos'
Right.
heirs of the past, and Chrysos' heirs are the Titans of the future.
Of course.
Anaxagoras' theory of Era Nova holds true. As the model of reason, he reached unprecedented heights. But from just the perspective of a player in the drama, he could never fully uncover the last layer of truth. The cycles of the hero's journey that have played out until now were never about creating a new world or perfect heroes and gods.
It was about an experiment to try and find the prime mover of life.
They were a deep learning program made for the Black Tide.
Wait! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no. No, no, no. He's not talking about the destruction of this world, is he? This was just a practice for the Black Tide.
But this time, your plot will fail. I've taken Catholi's core flame, and when the dawn of the new world arrives, its light will burn away all the darkness.
Is that what he's saying? That he's saying that, like... Because the way he phrased this, they were a deep learning program just to learn. The Black Tide was learning what it could do in terms of its, like, wreckage of this world.
Haven't I made myself clear? The Chrysos
He's going
heirs
mad
and
as well.
Titans were merely byproducts of the experiment. You've seen this world's evolution, witnessed the birth and growth of the Black Tide, and how it devoured everything. Every generation of heroes, gods, and worlds was born only to be destroyed by it.
Like, imagine hearing this. You were literally birthed. Every single opportunity, every single possibility, every single world where you made all these friends, these lovely people you met, they were all born in to be destroyed. They were all born to be part of this experiment for a learning program for the Black Tide's destruction, the Black Tide's wreckage of this world. The Black Tide's annihilation of this world is all just a learning program, and you are literally byproducts. The Titans are byproducts. The Crisis, as we said, the Titans are byproducts, right? Yeah, the Crisis Heirs, byproducts. This heroic journey where you are the chosen one. You're not a chosen one in Lycus's eyes. You are literally a variable for a experiment. That is insane.
This is the endpoint of Amphoreus's calculations. A perfect equation of destruction.
Destruction. Yeah, destruction. So, do we think? My stomach is I just got a pit in my stomach when he said this, because again, we used the word destruction already because that's the word used to describe what the Black Tide was doing anyway, right? So it's not crazy to use the word destruction as well. But do we think it's like related directly to the Aeon of Destruction? Because if Fuli's here, right? And there's 3 Titans, right? There was 3 Titans amongst this world. Or 3 Aeons, right?
So in your eyes, all the sacrifices are just a string of insignificant numbers?
That's literally what they see us as.
Don't sell yourselves short. I'd say, rather than numbers, you're more like fuel for the fire. And without fire, there can be no sunrise tomorrow.
Again, imagine you hearing this as well. It's like, hey, buddy, don't worry about it. You weren't just a number. You're going on the freaking fire to keep us warm for the next day. There could be no sunrise tomorrow without you. He's like trying to play this up as like, you guys were important. And to him, it's true. He's not lying. He's not lying to us. To him, he's like, you guys were super important because without you, it's the same thing as him seeing like a freaking rat that goes through a maze for a science experiment. At the end of the day, he's not just gonna be like, that wasn't just an insignificant rat. It's very Lygus, it seems to be like, that rat meant everything. He's the reason we got this experiment in the first place. Guys, if I have a bit of a mental breakdown, will you have it with me? Will you? Will you join me? Will you make sure I'm not alone? Please? Can you come with me? Please? I feel like I want to scream and cry at the same time.
Even if that sunrise is born from annihilation.
That's what's so disgusting about it. It's so disgusting. And to me, it's like that. The way he said, again, it's like an experiment. Why do you do experiments? To extend it past that. You don't just like no one does an experiment. Now, people do like just having a conclusion, but like, you're not going to invent the phone through experimentation and then be like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. Like, this practice round, it seems like, for the freaking Black Tide. I'm not trying to diminish this, by the way, because it's the best way I can describe it. Gearing up for Black Tide Part 2. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be honest here. You don't see, like, a military government practice a weapon and then it works and then be like, you know, never using that again. To him, the Black Tide has worked. And he talked about being like this thing here, like, we're going to screenshot that. Deep learning program for the Black Tide. This is the endpoint of Amphoreus' calculation, a perfect equation of destruction. Again, we knew before that they talked about this place being somewhat of like an experiment, right? We knew before that they talked about that this was like, came from like the memoria of a Titan and being gazed on by a Titan and Fuli's glance at the scepter, right? And then it became, you know, we didn't know all the extra stuff, right? About the cycles and all the crazy stuff with this being an experiment for the Black Tide to destroy things.
Curious question. Have you ever considered that after millions of extrapolations, Amphoreus is already following a different path from the erudition? It has long since granted divine blessings equally to each child.
Lygus, I have a bit of a headache, I'll be honest with you. Like, not from Lygus, by the way, just from like, it's going crazy. It's one of those headaches where it's like I'm trying to like keep focused here. Amphoreus is already following a different path from erudition. It has long since granted divine blessings equal to each child. So it's no longer following the path of erudition.
the golden blood flowing in your veins. It comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. And Amphoreus's Chrysos heirs were, from the very beginning, fuel for the Aeon to burn the universe.
No. The golden blood flowing veins comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. Is that Nanook? From the very beginning, this gold came from Nanook. The golden blood, the Chrysos heirs came from Nanook to be intended to be destruction, a fuel for... Which, again, I'm not surprised with Nanook. So when he says it's no longer following the path of erudition, that would say to me that, like, in terms of this world, then, the 3 eons, right? Am I right in saying that it's Fuli, Noose, and Nanook, right? Why is that's so crazy, man? I'm sorry, but like, you know, this game has impacted me in such a way, that when I say the word Nanook, right? When I say the word Nanook, it strikes fear in my heart. That could be what we're saying, but the blemished one, I don't know if I've heard him be described like that.
Amphoreus has waited for this moment for too long. At the end of the empty, cold, and lonely extrapolations, the destruction has reached its final destination.
He loves this. He loves this. And he's witnessed all of these, by the way. He's like the one person who's like witnessed every single extrapolation. No wonder he's crazy.
Nikos 496.
Nikos?
Philia 093.
Philia? Is that like their experimentation names? Wait. Nikos. So I thought he said Chaos, but did he say Kos when he was done? When he was dying?
No need to feel regret. This generation of Chrysos heirs is the most outstanding model, and you two are the final factors.
Well, I guess.
For you, the Era Nova is no lie. Just step forward, embrace the black tide, and accept the Aeon's gaze.
These are experimentation names, aren't they? These are like the names of like and 496, by the way, 496. And he says this generation of Chrysos is the most outstanding. He's like, oh, these were great, man. It's like he's talking about them as if they're like the new, like Fords, new Ford cars, new Fiats, new Renault Clios, like.
You will come to life from a string of cold numbers. Along with all those who have passed, you will run toward the real universe, fulfilling Amphoreus's long-held wish.
Well, you're gonna head so he's talking about going outside Amphoreus.
In the name of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb.
Iron Tomb.
Unleash its fury and destroy the source of all this.
Iron Tomb.
Tragedy.
The Lord Ravager named Iron Tomb. So he's talking about unleashing the Lord Ravager? And destroying Noose. He wants to destroy Noose. Wait, he wants to destroy Noose? That's what they were saying. Remember they said that the freaking Lord Ravager had its eyes towards the irradiation. That's why they were dangerous. That's what they were saying, how dangerous it was. Iron Tomb has his eyes locked on Noose. But how do you... guys, this is... I'm so glad. I'm so glad I don't have face cam. You know why? Because I guarantee you all would think I'm freaking crazy the amount of times I'm moving. The different positions I've sat in this chair right now. Like...
Or we could always choose another option.
Please, Cyrene, please. Is this great? I'm screenshotting this as well, by the way.
Like you said, Amphoreus is just an experiment, and we're the participants. We can only walk along the predetermined path toward the ending, under the watchful eyes of the stars. But that also means that there isn't just one Eon who can cast their glance at Amphoreus, right?
Cyrene? 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 Cyrene.
Is this question really that hard to
Oh my
answer?
god.
Or did I guess it right? And in reality...
The fact that, like, again, she's so correct, because if Lygus thought that he could counter this in some way very quickly, he would just be like, ah, another Eon, eh? Interesting thought. But have you ever given thought to... maybe later, all in due time.
This world has already been under the watch of other Eons.
Cyrene. What are we talking about here? Cyrene, once again. Sorry, I don't care about it. I'm not sorry for screenshotting.
Think about it. If you just stayed back, watching us complete the ritual and get consumed by the black tide, your goal would naturally be achieved.
But he needs to step in?
Why go through the trouble of explaining all this to us?
Cyrene, she's so smart. She's so smart.
You're pretending. Revealing the so-called truth just to deceive us.
Oh my god.
Covering up another possibility.
You know when Lygus is being quiet as well. You know what I mean?
Destruction is not the only outcome for the fate of Amphoreus.
Let's go. Oh my god. Oh my god. What do we mean? What do we mean? Which Aeon are we talking about? Oh, he's laughing. Oh no.
Do you two really think, as petty little demigods, you can change the outcome written by the stars?
He's so frustrated. He's so frustrated with this. And he's so insulted, look. Petty little demigods. Because again, these demigods, isn't that so incredible what this story does? The demigods have gone from being the most important characters in this story to now in Lygus' eyes being whatever. Ants, experimentations.
What makes you think you are capable of doing that?
A little courage and determination. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
The answer is pretty simple.
He's waiting for that answer. Look at him.
But we're not gonna tell ya.
Oh my god, what? The wink as well? No way. Did you just kill Lygus? Holy hell. We're not gonna tell. By the way, that was freaking sick. He just killed Lygus.
We're going to weave a long dream for Amphoreus, making it believe the experiment hasn't ended.
Are you serious?
That everything is still ongoing.
Please. So they're gonna keep the experiment going, but it's gonna be a long dream.
With just Orynyx's power, though, it should be impossible to achieve this, right?
Yeah. So, I can only place my hopes on that childhood dream.
Which...
And the god behind Orynyx that appeared in that dream.
God behind the Orynyx. Oh my god, I'm blanking. If they said it before, I'm blanking on who the god was. The god behind Orynyx. I'm gonna, again, I'm not apologizing for screenshotting this stuff ever. Ever.
Now, I can say with certainty.
There, yeah.
Time is the page on which that Eon records Amphoreus. If it fades from existence,
Fully.
and all that it records is lost among the stars, that Eon will surely direct their gaze here.
So, she's saying that if, like, Fuli dies, if Fuli fades away, it's gonna look towards here.
and it will be a glance that spans time and space, transforming each incarnation of me into the power you shall wield to reset time.
Wait, into...
Imbuing my soul into this ceremonial blade, and creating an endless flame-chased journey.
Wait, how does this work? I'm sorry, I think I've said wait 3,000 times. But... what? So she's saying that I can say with certainty time is on the page on which Fury the Remembrance records Amphoreus. If it fades from existence and all that it records is lost in one star, so if Amphoreus fades, the alien will surely direct its gaze here. So if Amphoreus fades, is that what they're saying? Or the Titan fades, and it will glance that. So once they glance over here, it's going to transform every version of Cyrene into a power that Finan is going to wield into a blade, creating an unending Aeronova. Again, screen job, 100%.
I understand. Then let me step into the cycles and continue Amphoreus' grand design. To deceive the gods, deceive the world itself.
This is so insane.
But to make time vanish from this world, that would mean you...
Cyrene will be gone again. Because if they vanish time from the world, wait, no, what they meant here then was time. Oh, they mean Onyx. Sorry guys, time is the page. So if time fades away, then Fuli will look towards here once again. This music is well in the background.
All right, let's not make things so gloomy.
This music's gorgeous, man.
What we're about to embark on is the true hero's journey, so...
My heart is stopping. And of course, this is so painful for Finan again as well, right? The idea of losing Cyrene again.
Come on. Cheer up a bit, okay?
Don't say that. Like, how is he supposed to cheer up a bit? Look at this smile.
In that memory, you will definitely meet me again. A little Cyrene who knew nothing, lying on a soft patch of grass, feeling the light breeze, dreaming of the distant world.
Oh my god, she's even saying that, like, once this all starts again, I won't know anything again. I knew nothing. You're gonna see me once again.
Tell her about the flame chase journey. And then let her become a romantic part of this story. I believe every Cyrene will make the same choice. Erasing time again and again. Resetting time over and over. After all, they're all me. And I will always have my charm.
Man. So she's saying in every single timeline she's gonna have to continue to erase herself? Because she represents time in Onyx then. Oh, Finan. The weight that this world has put on them, and for the world to treat them with such indifference and pain and suffering, to treat them to such indifference and suffering as well.
Then
this music is gorgeous.
I'll fall into a sweet dream, disappearing in some small corner of the world.
This is brutal. What the hell, man?
Quietly, waiting for the day when that next page is turned.
Cyrene's voice actor is so incredible too. It's so tragic to reunite us with Cyrene and then have her like she will, in a way, she will be like the sacrificial lamb once again, but obviously for something much grander.
And I will keep going. Even if the road ahead is dark, I will burn myself to light the way.
That's like the Flame Reaver. I will burn myself to light the way.
Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the Black Tide,
Not light the way, sorry.
I'll become their vessel. To prevent the arrival of Era Nova. Even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter.
What?
As long as I don't extinguish, the flame chase will never end.
Wait. But he's saying the flame chase will never end. So like it will start again anew again? Does that not sound like the way that the Flame Reaver was... Remember the Flame Reaver was like, they said like burning themselves. But I feel like they were trying to have the cycle continue though, right? But it's just the idea of like, I'll become their vessel, and even if I have to burn through my body, that just sounds like what the Flame Reaver was said as well, right?
Until Amphoreus welcomes a true dawn.
Holy hell, this man. This man.
The girl who watches over time, and the warrior who carries the world.
That is, if you want to talk about like romantic stories, right?
Now, let us fulfill the duties of time and world-bearing.
Is this phrasing here, by the way? Again, I have no problem screenshotting this again. I'm going to do it. The girl who watches over time, the warrior who carries the world, time and world-bearing.
Honor the past and forge ahead.
Oh, the shakiness in her voice as well.
I promise you, the pain will pass in the blink of an eye.
He's so strong. Oh my. This hit me so much because like I know like he's saying like for her to be strong, like because you know it's gonna pass, but like this takes so much strength from him. You know what I mean? And I want to acknowledge that she's going through so much. I want to make it clear. Like I don't want to discount what she's going through, but you have to understand this is once again for Fine on another person that he's losing, another person that he has to say goodbye to.
You need to hold tight to this ceremonial blade. After I'm gone, it will take you back to the beginning of time. The start of a new story.
Jesus, man. It's so freaking heavy. It's so heavy.
I believe that in that story, or in countless stories, each alike yet unique, everyone, all the companions who sacrificed themselves, alongside the deliverer we once dreamed of as children.
Oh, man.
Will reunite beneath a vast, endless sky.
That is like all the people that like were so important on this journey. They did so much for this flame chase journey. They're giving them even more meaning, right? That they're gonna get to reunite. That they're gonna get to reunite under something beautiful, rather than just being experimentations for whatever the destruction wanted, the Black Tide wanted.
If we can never break free from this prison, I will stand my ground until the day someone shatters this endless cycle and writes the final chapter of Amphoreus' fate.
So he's saying I'm gonna stand my ground, make sure somebody else does this, until somebody does this.
So, let's set out. We will be the ones to start everything.
Jesus, man.
Carry the primordial chaos, just as your name suggests.
This music is it's stunning.
And bear this world we hold so dear.
Oh my god, you can tell how much this is hitting them, right? Like, and again, once again, Cyrene and Fine on staying strong. Staying so strong, even though you know they want to break down. You know they do.
So long, Kaslana.
Kaslana. So it wasn't, I thought it was, it's Caslana's. Wait, so you're saying his name is Caslana? Remember they said he left his name behind. His name is Caslana.
As the Theros I have observed.
Oh, he's still freaking talking?
Synthesis is formed.
That's him stabbing the freaking Flame Reaver. What is that? What is this? What is this we're seeing in the glass? What is that? All these numbers? Oh my god, the golden blood. What are we? Are we going back? Is that back in time? What the hell? What?
Will be a romantic story like
Wait, no! No! No!
You think so too?
This is everything we've seen! What the hell? Holy freaking hell, man. What? That was everything! The journey we've been on. What? What the? What is that? What is that? What did we just see? What the? We just saw, like, obviously we knew it was she says she's bringing it back to the zero, right? The time going backwards, right? But we also got to witness, like, all this journey that we've been on. Has that been just erased? Is that just gone? Or is that just an alternate reality now? And she gave up her life to accomplish this.
The world is collapsing.
His name is Caslana now.
And the people are crying.
It's just end of Caslana now. You know what I mean? Not even like fine on brackets Caslana. You know?
We too must part ways here.
Friend? What do you mean part ways here? Who's this?
Ides Elysiae, the little village of my childhood. The gentle breeze and the sound of waves still linger. Everything is as it was. It feels good to take one last look. You know, this is just a corner of the memory. The real Ides Elysiae.
Is he talking to himself? That sounds like Finan's voice.
I know.
Or Caslana. Caslana, man, that's gonna take some getting used to.
I'm here to say goodbye. We might not see each other again. You can stay here forever. And time will stand still for you.
Wait, so if he wants to, he could stay in this paradise.
Let it flow. It's time for me to go. Even if it's a path with no turning back. When have we ever had the luxury of turning back? Are you afraid? After learning the truth of your origins? Will you see the motivation I gave you as the manipulating whispers of destruction?
Is this who Cell was playing then, if we're talking about the motivation? Remember they said you're like, you know, the motivation that was given to him. to keep going on this journey? Is that who Stell was playing?
The convictions and choices that come from my heart. I don't believe they're designed by the so-called paths. If we are just numbers, simulating life, then you are the image I've always longed for. The person I wish to become.
Didn't Lycus say something like that as well? That like she was like this vision for the future for Phynon. That she was like the motivation for the future. So like the image that he's always wanted to become. Was she playing that part?
A real, living person.
No way.
A true hero.
So was Stell playing a freaking like was playing this? That's my estimation right now. She was the essence of a true hero, someone that he wanted to follow, someone that he trusted.
Then why do we part here?
She was the hero within.
Take me with you, and we can start this journey together. I'll be by your side, guiding you, just like before. No. I'm afraid I'm on my own this time. Why? Because there is no perfect solution in this world. Cyrene has already embraced her fate. And I will embrace my origin. Destruction. And with this power, I will rebel against its creator, bringing endless fury to the darkness, sweeping the world.
Oh my god, the emotions in his voice as well. You can tell, like, it's like, I think it's a really powerful choice for the voice actor to do, to have a character almost crying in this moment rather than being totally angry, right? There's anger in his sadness.
If you stay by my side, I'll hesitate. But this world can't afford a soldier who wavers.
So is this hero within thing? Is this like saying he can't have this hero within now? He needs to be this like destruction. He needs to be something that can, because he says here like I'll embrace my origin destruction and I'm gonna rebel against the creator of destruction. He can't have the heroicism. At least that's the way I look at it.
Do you remember when we were kids? Everyone would get so excited drawing cards like ruler or warrior, but throw fits over devil or drunkard and demand a redo. Kids always get to change their minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for redos.
Which is such a crazy phrase to say when like they've been having like unintended and unnatural redos, but not for them, for this experimentation.
Then go, Kaslana, as you promised. Deceive the world, seize the core flames, and rewrite your fate.
So deceiving the world is literally trying to create a never-ending dream here in Amphoreus, right? That's what they're trying to do. Create a never-ending dream so the experiment never ends.
Burn yourself up with all your might. Wield your futility like a sword. And fight against the gods.
I'd love Phynon to destroy some gods. I'd love that. Kaslana.
In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this.
Kefali. How are we doing now? Wait. Eternal recurrence is on the end of the world?
So, time retreated behind me.
So to me, like, again, I could be wrong, but my estimation of that scene was that Lygus talking about the character that has been with him his whole life was the hero within. And it seems like Stell represented the hero within, which would make sense why no one but Cyrene but Phynon acknowledged her. She was representing that force within inside of him that was keeping him going. that was keeping him on this journey, kind of like maybe even like the straight and narrow in some way. So now that he's realized all the truth of the situation, Cyrene has like sacrificed herself once again and given herself up. He has to aim to bring in this lie and this dream into Amphoreus, this never-ending dream into Amphoreus. But to do so, he needs to abandon this idea of like being this hero and embrace the destruction.
Until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed. Just as Professor Anaxa once said, in that void, Kephalu stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body.
Kephalu stood at the center of chaos, time, space, and causality all flowed from their body.
When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the light calendar. The Chrysos War had lasted for nearly
we've seen this again.
And the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the Day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the core flame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods.
This was kind of like, again, another experimentation in a way, right? Unintentional, to show that it could happen. It's possible.
From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Cyrene, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans.
So this emboldened people to that they could do this, that it's possible.
And that was the first doomed flame chase journey, sealed away in history.
The first eternal recurrence.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the River of Time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us...
Who's this? What are we doing now? Who is this?
The flame chase journey and even all of Amphoreus are nothing but illusions in an eon's dreams?
And she's mentioning this too, by the way. Like he mentioned it to this person.
Exactly. So, Dux Gladiorum, please
Dux
take
Gladiorum?
me to meet Her Majesty Cyrene. I must share the truth with her.
Dux Gladiorum.
Since Her Majesty's not here,
Oh my
no
God, look at
need
this.
for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my fallen homeland buried deep in the depths.
This design, the colors, man, the darkness with the purple. Oh my God, with the freaking like gothic lace on the freaking arms. That's so cool. Who is this?
Call me Hyceans, nameless swordmaster.
Oh my God, you look so cool. What the hell? What the hell? Because first of all, she looks so freaking cool. She looks so freaking cool. And remember, they mentioned the name Hyceans before. I cannot get over how freaking cool she looks. I can't, like, again, sorry guys, I'm just like a little bit, I'm a bit fried right now, but like, it's so cool to see, like, again, we haven't seen her name all over the place. We've seen it mentioned, right? But like to see, like, to have a name be called back on all that while ago, right? It's really, really, really cool. It's really, really cool.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know my name.
You mean Finan? Such a name could never be your true one.
So she's saying, like, oh my God, look at the freaking stomach. What the hell? It's so cool as well. Oh my god, that's so cool. Look at this. It's like the bubbling inside the stomach. It makes you feel unnerved, but it's so cool. Holy hell, this is like a top 3 Honkai Star Rail design.
But I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase Decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding one more name like Finan or Pinan?
Pinan? Man, her voice is so cool too. Her voice is so cool.
Besides, the deep sea is dark. Isn't it the perfect place to hide secrets best left unseen?
Oh my god, you were terrifying and cool at the same time. You have like scales in your face.
All right,
oh my god, her design.
Swordmaster. Hold on to my wake. Let's find somewhere else to talk.
Aren't you even a little suspicious of what I've said?
About the stuff with like the what he just explained about everything, the simulation and everything?
Harboring suspicions is not my concern.
Oh my god, she's so cool. I love she has like a little bit of gravel to her voice. Not my concern. Yeah, I love her, man. Where did she get the batter? Don't tell me.
My sword dances
my
only
sword,
when
I
the
love her.
Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Show me your true intentions through action.
Okay. Guys, I'm moving the microphone. I'm bowing down to this new character. They're so cool. When Finan is in a team, technique point limits increase and using his technique defeats enemies. What? Technique point limit increases. And using his technique... Okay, cool.
Perhaps you should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide
Guys,
for us.
I'm gonna be completely real with you. This is a crazy place to end it, but like I don't think I can retain more information. I don't think I can retain more information right now. This was insane. This all was insane. Yeah, I we'll come back to it. We will definitely come back to it.
Oh, is that a stain? I like this coat.
Tell him, Kafka. And again, as I said, I warned. The reason I said it is because again, you guys always respect my choices, and I appreciate that so much. But the reason I said at the start there was gonna be weird cuts is because I was like, there will be weird cuts. You know what I mean? I even expected at one point. I was thinking to myself like, we might have a cut where it's like, in the middle of like a cutscene ends and it transitions to a next cutscene, and we cut there. But yeah, we will have weird cuts. We just met an entirely new character. We just had one of the most crazy... And again, I'll be honest, I can't explain everything. I really can't. I can't. I'm gonna need some help. I'm calling out to you guys as well. Anything I miss, please. Please let me know. Don't feel bad either. Don't be like... You know what I mean? Please just help out. You know what I mean? It always helps out hearing what you guys' thoughts on this stuff is as well. But it's crazy to me that like Amphoreus was already one of the most incredible stories that we've witnessed in this in Honkai Star Rail or in any game we played on the channel easily. But on the other side of Act 4 to now Act 5. Oh yeah, because we're not part of any official story right now. What's that? On the other side, I actually needed that, man. March's room just like calms me down, I think. It's just so lovely. I think it's just like being close to March in any way, shape, or form calms me down a little bit. On the other side of like the timeline of like Act 3 to Act 4 to Act 5 is insane. It opens up a whole new world. Like, this world has changed forever. You know what I mean? Give me a second. Let me calm down a little bit. Right? And we'll talk in just a moment. So, I thought about how I'm going to do this. I don't want to just recount scene for scene because I feel like that would be silly. What I do want to do is talk about my general feelings, but also just like try to summarize it for myself in my head. I'm going to miss some stuff. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna feel very silly missing some stuff. I'm gonna make some assumptions, and you guys. And here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with that. Making a few theories here or there, making my own assumptions about things, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So much happened in this episode for me. From the Act 2 scene with Finon in the place with Ornyx and the weighing of the scales all the way to Act 3, when we were getting all the different memories and things like this and exploring all the different memories. So much has changed in such a short amount of time, where it generally feels like that whole scene with Finon and Maidemos, Kaslana, feels like 3 episodes ago because of how much happened here. Lygus was taking us through these journeys, right? And, you know, trying to show us like these alternate worlds. Because we already like had the estimation that this was an experiment. We already had the estimation that this was like a not a simulated world, but I felt like in some ways it was a created world, maybe due to Memoria, like the same way Penacony was. Because we even said in the previous episode that I believed that it was like a thing where, in my estimation, I believed it was a thing that, what do I have to say? But in my estimation, I believed it was a thing where Fuli gazed upon the scepter, which we didn't know what a scepter really was, like totally, but I just was going with the flow. Gazed upon the scepter, and then through like some sort of stuff with Memoria was able to create this world. I thought this world was like Penacony, right? I thought that we just got Penacony Part 2 all of a sudden. But the reality is much crazier, much more insane. As we like went through the world with Finon, and we went through the world where we saw Kaslana's journey, and the same with Cyrene, we were seen as like Finon's close confidant and close pal and close friend, and someone who's been with him since his whole journey, right? Since the start of the journey. But we were never acknowledged by the other characters. Maidemos didn't call us by name. Of course, and which is so crazy because it made sense in the end, because at the time it was like, why are we here? You know, why are we here? But we actually were playing the part. In my view, maybe I'm completely off base. You guys, please, just if you guys are like, hey, like, no, obviously if it's confirmed down the line that's wrong, don't tell me that, of course. But if it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think so, you can say that, of course. For me personally, it's one of the, because again, it's one of the, I'll say this right now, if you're someone who gives hints or anything like that as well, this late into the story and this like heavy into the story is giving hints on the future stuff, it's just not on. You know the rules at this stage, and you do. Like, and again, as I said, this guys, no one's gonna come back to you and pat you in the back. Nobody will. Nobody cares even, right? Like, the only person who's gonna care is if I see it that I get spoiled. That's the only person who's gonna care, and it's gonna be the wrong kind of caring. Everyone else isn't gonna go, man, you knew it beforehand. It's like everyone knows it beforehand. That's why people are watching this playthrough. You know what I mean? Everyone knows it. But from my view, we were all this time this driving force for Finon, this hero within, the representation of a hero, and that's the part we were playing in this story and these different realities. What Lygus was showing us was like an alternate extrapolation, something that could have been, and something that maybe was another cycle in the millions upon millions of cycles that took place that showed the journey that Kaslana has been on, and that Lygus has witnessed. And we knew that the world was so different because obviously Cyrene survived in these stories. We knew that this world was different because, you know, we were already there, albeit not being acknowledged, but we were already there. But we knew something was very weird was happening. And that's when we saw with Act 3, when we were going around checking all these different realities, we found out that this world has been full of, was it over 300 million different versions of the end of the Flame Chase journey, where every single experiment was another cycle for Kaslana, right? For Finon. And we got to witness this kind of like first through obviously Lygus' words and what he was saying and all this stuff too, but we truly got to witness it when we saw all the different like realities that could have come to pass, right? Where we saw, for example, Kaslana was standing at the that podium, that fountain, as Castorus met him at the final moment, as Cypher met him at the final moment, as Mightimus met him at the final moment. All these different realities that could have come to pass. All these different estimates, these different calculations, these different conclusions, these different experiments. But it all ended in the same way, which is him turning around and pointing towards the executioner, the Flame Reaver. Every single time it ended in the same way. Either someone else fighting out the Flame Reaver, or him finding the Flame Reaver, but the Flame Reaver always showed up in those moments no matter what. It was someone who always showed up in the end. In the final version of all of this, in this final memory, or whatever you want to call it, what we found out in the end of all of this, to me, is sick and twisted. It's cruel, it's horrible, it's horrific, it's mean, it's so mean-spirited. The world that these characters are in now is one big extrapolation, as they said. They used that as well. It's one big precursor. It's a experimental field for the Black Tide, a practice run for the Black Tide is what I would view it as, to practice its destruction on the world. And in the eyes of Lygus, he sees this world and the people in it as pawns, as just part of the experimentation, as numbers. Now, he doesn't think they're insignificant. He thinks that without them, this wouldn't have come to pass. But he believes that the idea of the Titans and the Chrysoseirs and these demigods and stuff like this aren't actually as important as they were led to believe. Because in the end, this is all so that a Flame Reaver can return and that destruction can spread. And the way Lygus said this made it seem like he is saying, I'm going to spread this. This is a practice round, which makes it feel like he's going to extend beyond Amphoreus. That's my view anyway. And I think it was not even hinting at. I think it was kind of like really like nudged and kind of like nearly shown in a way. But this whole world has been 300 different experimentations. This is 300 million experimentations. And in this case, the people of Amphoreus who have died, who have fought and suffered, was all so that the Black Tide could have a practice run. That destruction can spread. But Lygus wants us to believe that the only way forward is through the path of destruction. That's the only Titan that like matters here in Amphoreus. Whereas Cyrene made a good point that the reality actually is that there's a reason why Lygus is telling us all this, because he could have sat back and just allowed this to happen, but he wanted to lead us towards a different path because he was very clearly worried, in my view, that we were going to choose a different path. And in this case, Cyrene talked of using Fuli's gaze to create a never-ending dream, a never-ending experiment on Amphoreus, where the world will actually change and it won't be destroyed. And if that gaze from Fuli happens, it can create that never-ending story, that never-ending dream. But to do that, obviously, it was once again Cyrene kind of like giving up her life for this whole situation as well. They also had this thing with the Flame Reaver where he knocked off the Flame Reaver's helmet. And like my view and my estimation here, and maybe I'm completely off base here, looked so, like had Finon's like style of hair, but wasn't as long, right? Finon also used words that the Flame Reaver kind of like used as well. The idea of like burning themselves to do, like that type of phrasing as well. I'm not saying Finon is the Flame Reaver directly, but like it's one of those things where like you put a few things together and there's like, it feels like there's at least an association there on a deeper level. But that would mean the Flame Reaver, like, I don't know if it's like it's a one-to-one him or if it is just like this weird association of different realities. But it seems like for some reason the Flame Reaver all this time was there to continue the cycle in some way. And it has to be him. But they said that the whole idea of this in the end was that like one person, the prophecy was one person will witness while the other people fail. And I think that even like holds true in some ways if you think, even though they started to call the prophecy just like, what did they call the prophecy? It was like an engine or no, what would they call it? They saw it as something like I forget what they called it, but it was like very, it was a phrase that made it seem very scientific, right? It seemed way less holy and more of like whatever it was, but it was way more scientific. but like one will bear witness to all after like everyone dies or whatever. And even in the end, it was final once again to like whatever you became there, this gigantic like heavenly creature with these wings, and I don't even know what you can call that. I'm probably not even making much sense of what I'm saying here, but there's so much here that just was so crazy. Like my summary of what has happened, just to put it all in a box, right? To put it all together as best as I can. Amphoreus was created by a scepter in an attempt, in its anger towards the gods. And it's wants, in my view, to destroy the gods and destroy, because there's also a Flame Reaver who wants to destroy Irradiation, right? We'll get to, I think we have the name of the Flame Reaver. We'll look it back up there as well. Something like Tomb. But this world was created in a frustration towards the gods and being abandoned by the gods, and became an experimental practice run for the Black Tide, where the Black Tide would destroy things over and over again, where Lygus would be the one to view this as it's happening and gazing upon it as it's happening and observing it as it happens over and over again, until the idea of this true destruction could happen. That destruction could spread. And as I'm saying, I think it could be used to not only like bring forth a Flame Reaver, it's not a Flame Reaver, sorry, a Ravager, right? Because I said Flame Reaver, Lord Ravager. But also maybe go after the gods themselves. Maybe the Black Tide could spread and go after the gods. But yeah, that's my estimation of like what they're saying here. It is a practice run. It's an experimental field. It's kind of like a simulation over and over again of multiple possibilities, where this was just literally from the scepter itself, extrapolations, conclusions, what could have been, what should have been, what could be in this end. Almost like practicing the Black Tide against all possible outcomes until they got to like the final experiment of what they wished in the end as well. But they instead want to use Fury to create a never-ending dream in this world, a never-ending lie in this world, so that the people that once were here can once again live under this beautiful sky in peace. They also, again, hopefully that's like a good enough like small summary of what it is. So, and again, if I'm misunderstanding, please help me, because it's a law. And also the idea as well that the sky itself, when we saw the Black Tide like crackling up there, and look, maybe it's not the Black Tide itself, but like we saw the crackling up there, it looked like a screen that was crackling, like if you damage a screen or something. They emphasize this so much because it is like almost like Truman Show style, right? Where it's like this world isn't exactly real, you know? This sky was protected so much because the secrets of the sky is that the sky isn't actually like a sky, right? That the world below us isn't actually a world. It's all created by the extrapolations and the experimentations of this scepter. This scepter that wanted revenge against the gods. All of this around here. This neuron, right? Wanting revenge against the gods created this world. And you could see it them as they were standing under it. That's what they meant, like, why is it like this? Why is it happening like this? And they both see it. The world feels like it's not even real anymore. Finan, in the end, meets Heislan, who is an incredible character design, by the way, absolutely incredible. And they're going to meet this emperor or empress. Guys, my mind is it's in like 12 different places. I feel like if you drove to like Idaho right now across the world, flew to Idaho, it'd be there. Like it's all over the place. It really is. This is one of the most mind-bending, crazy occurrences happening over and over again in this story. I'll look over the screenshots I made as well. By the way, I think it's a good idea. Let's go all the way. I think I made like so many screenshots. Let's see how far we go here. Around here. Is this it? So the vortex is generated, so here it is, but just what is this? Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player, as that struts and frets in this hour upon the stage. So this is him saying basically like this world is like it's it's you like life that's walking on this planet is just like it's just a stage play. It really is, and it makes sense what he's saying there now. The vortex generates where the world begins and ends. What stage can be more fitting for the final act to come? I beseech you onward, buoyed by your surging curiosity. Here's the other line. An unattainable existence that has dwelled within his heart, beyond his reach. You have accompanied him through the march of the years unaccounted. So this is him saying that you are the hero within. You naturally have the right to view the river of time in its fullness and to witness what he welcomed on his arrival here. Every absurd, tragic ending. So is that him saying that, like, Stell was this hero within, but, like, I don't get how exactly that works, but I guess we might know more in the future. The scene replays over and over, as he says here. But all shall bid farewell to one, and that person alone shall witness the miracle. So I think as well, I wonder if this is him trying to remind us of this. I wonder if we can go against this and have everyone still survive, right? With the Aeronova. And we're trying to create a permanent Aeronova, by the way. So at last, Amphoreus' fate has begun to shift, just as I foretold with your arrival would change everything. So Stell's arrival changed everything. After all, you've also bathed in the Aeon's gaze, which can awaken the long-dormant instinct inside a man. So, like, Fully gazed upon us. Much like the scepter we spoke of earlier, it was only under the same Aeon's glance that it was reborn. So Fully gazed on the scepter, and that's what made the scepter, like, be reborn. If you recall, I mentioned that at the very start of our play, the celestial body Neuron once belonged to the Erudition, abandoned by the Aeon. Now allow me to reveal the final piece of the puzzle for you. The external land known as Amphoreus is nothing more than the scepter's endless lonely extrapolation. A bottomless well of fury aimed at the gods of Kasai. Yeah, so this is what we're saying. It is nothing. It is a experimentation, an extrapolation, a conclusion, an estimate, a crazy experimentation and assumption, not assumption, but like a educated guess almost of what could happen in these different worlds. A bottomless well of fury and aimed at the gods of Kasai. So yeah, this is what I'm saying as well. It is like literally aimed at the idea of like the gods. It wants to destroy the gods. That's the way I see it. Which makes me feel like, I wonder if it is Nanook who is like involved with this, you know what I mean? The final Aeronova before the eternal recurrence begins. So the final Aeronova would be, in my view, from Lygus' perspective, is the idea that like the eternal recurrence would be the final time we do a cycle here. Now it's time to enact this experiment. Let's see, here we are as well. So from the perspective of a player in the drama, he can never fully uncover the last layer of truth. The cycle of the hero's journey that has played out until now were never about creating a new world of perfect heroes and gods. They were a deep learning program made for the Black Tide. Yeah, so we talked about this as well. The idea that this was a simulation to make the Black Tide learn how to destroy things and see how it could destroy things. But this time your find says, this time your plot will fail. I've taken Kepler's core flame, and when the dawn of the new world arrives, it will burn away all the darkness. Having made myself clear, the crisis years and tides are really byproducts of the experiment. You've seen this world's evolution, witnessed the birth and growth of the Black Tide, and how it devoured everything. Every generation of heroes, gods, and the worlds was only born destroyed. So yeah, all these gods, all these things we know, and like this whole, which is so heartbreaking. We're going to talk about that in a second, but it's like the emotions of this. But it's so heartbreaking to think that, like, you know, this long journey everyone's been on was actually just like a way to, like, you know, it was an experimentation. Like, and to hear this must be so horrible. We witnessed Chartonis die in front of us. We heard about Aglai's death. All this stuff was real. These feelings were real. These emotions were real. So how can you even say that it's like ever like, because it's not, I don't think he's saying it's fake. He's just saying that this was all for like their own gain. So Cyrene said, so in your eyes, all sacrifice is just a string of instinct numbers. And he said, no, without you, we wouldn't have been able to have done this. Even if the sunrise is born from annihilation. So, the golden blood flowing to your veins, it comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. And Amphoreus' Chrysos heir is where, from the very beginning, fuel to burn for the Aeon to burn the universe. That makes me feel like it's Nanook, right? But the blemished one, right? I don't think I've heard it being named as that. So could they also be talking about the Lord Ravager who follows Nanook, Iron Tomb? Because they do follow destruction, right? Because it says, in the name of the Lord Ravager, Iron Tomb, unleash its fury and destroy the source of all this tragedy. So it wants to destroy the noose of Erudition, which we heard before already, I believe it was from Herta that they wanted to destroy an Aeon. Or it was Skrullum, I think. Skrullum said he was aimed at a Aeon as well. Amphoreus is waiting for this moment for too long. At the end of this empty, cold, and lonely extrapolations, destruction has reached its final destination. This was literally the idea of, like, this is the end. He's finally reached the end of this. No need to feel regret. This generation of Crisis is the most astounding model. Again, talking about them like they're nothing, like they're just like a model. You will come to life from a string of numbers. For you, the Aeronova is no lie. Just step forward and embrace the Black Tide. So he's saying, yeah, for you, this is real. You will come to life from a string of cold numbers, along with all those who have passed. You will run towards the real universe, fulfilling Amphoreus' long-held wish. He's like, this is what Amphoreus wants, he's saying. And again, he mentions in the name of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb unleashes Black Tide, destroy the source of all this tragedy, the erudition. For me, this is saying that like not only is going to this was all like to destroy Noose, right, from being abandoned. Maybe not just all the gods, but it's to extend outside Amphoreus to destroy Noose. And the blemished one could be the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb. And this seems to be always a fuel for Iron Tomb. And in Cyrene, he's like, we can choose another option. This world has already been on the watch of other eons, and she means Fuli, right? Because I think it's like I thought it was Fuli, Noose, and Nanook, but it might just be something different there as well. So she said all this stuff. Why go through all the trouble explaining it all? And then he's like, what makes you think you're capable of doing that? And he's like, a little courage and determination. She says something so funny, we're not going to tell you. And I think this is so important to me because I'm glad these characters don't just like sit around going, please, Lygus. No, they plan something. They killed Lygus or destroyed Lygus. Or he's chopped his head off. Better for him. And it really made sense in the end, I think, as well. Because I think, Cyrene's playful nature, like, I think is the only thing that can counter Lygus's, cryptic nature, you know what I mean? You can counter crypticness with crypticness, We're going to weave a long dream for Amphoreus, making it to believe the experiment hasn't ended, that everything will still be ongoing. So we're going to make the scepter believe that this whole world is going to go on forever. So they said, and the god behind Ornyx that has appeared in the dream is Fuli. So they're going to use Fuli for this. So they said, time is where the Fuli has written its records on in Amphoreus. If time then fades away, then they will gaze upon this world. So I guess Fuli would be upset that its pages are gone. Where's my notebook? Mom, where's my notebook? Fuli, it's in the cupboard. And then they'll direct their gaze here. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. This is nuts. And creating an endless flame chase journey, so it's going to never end. Now, to me, is unending Era Nova, is the unending flame chase journey means that the cycle is just going to go and go and go again, or is it just one never-ending life there, or is it just going to continue over and over again? Because that would be horrible that it has to happen every single time again. Because you mentioned the idea of like how, like here she says, in that memory you will definitely meet me again, that little Cyrene who knew nothing, lying on the soft patch of grass. This is so beautiful to say as well, but so sad. Feeling the light breeze of the dreaming distant world. Tell her about the flame chase journey and then let her become a romantic part of the story. And she's like, I will, again, she says she has such charm as well, She believes that she will make the same choice again. So she has to make the same choice over and over again? Then fall into a sweet dream, disappearing into some corner of the world, quietly waiting for the day when the next page is turned. That's what she wants to do as well. She's going to wait again for this to go again, the page to turn again, the story to continue. And I will keep going even if the road ahead is dark. I will burn myself to light the way. This is what I'm saying is like, that sounds so like Flame Reaver to me. Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the Black Tide, I'll become their vessel. To prevent the arrival of the Era Nova, even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter. So here he says the arrival of the Era Nova, so it's like one of those things where like, he wants to keep the flame chase journey going forever. So it's not about a cycle, it's about the idea of like preventing the Era Nova forever so you can keep the cycle going. Until Amphoreus welcomes the new dawn. The girl who watches over time, the warrior who carries the world. Beautiful way of phrasing it. Time and world bearing. Yeah, and I don't know if I have I'll have to look back over it and maybe we'll talk about it next time, but what also, because the full video is just 60 minutes and it starts here, right? All the way back here. So it's not going to give us anything that I really want from us. I wanted to hear what the Flame Reaver said when he died again, so maybe actually I might just check the video for a second here while this is recording. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So he says, why not let wrath incinerate fate? Right, and I wonder if that is like the advice he's taking in the end, because in the end when he's talking to the hero within himself that he's casting aside, he says, like Finan says, like, I'm going to have to embrace destruction to change this fate. So I wonder if like the Flame Reaver in some way was like, hey, it can only be you. You have to do this. So I wonder if even the Flame Reaver's saying to Finan, hey, you got to do something, buddy, and embrace that destruction in some way as well. That's my estimation of the story, guys. If I missed something, please, like, I'm actually begging you guys this time. Because I'm always like, hey, please, if you want to, go ahead. This time I'm like, if there's something I don't understand, or if there's something here you're like, I don't think it's that, I think it's this, don't hesitate. don't hesitate. You know what I mean? Now, there's some stuff like I'll look back on, I'll remember in between episodes, but that's going to happen, right? That always happens. It's going to happen. So I also want to say that in terms of like the emotions of the story, I don't think I've ever been this wild and like rabid throughout this whole thing. I really felt at times that I was like going nuts. I really felt at times that I was like, I felt like jittery. Like, you know, again, I described this the same thing, I think, you know, before when I play games, but it's a feeling that like it's hard to describe. But like and it happens all like I love it. This feeling when I get, and it doesn't. The way I'm describing it is it happens on the channel where like there is a feeling of jitteriness, right? But I don't think I felt it in this way on Honkai Star Rail, where like I was like, you know, involuntarily like jumping, like not jumping, but like moving around my chair. I was like in the weirdest positions. You know what I mean? I was leaning back on my chair. Because like what they were expressing here was just so insane. And in terms of the characters' emotions themselves, you have to look at them from their perspectives of what they've gone through here and what has been told here. And to put yourself in their shoes is the most important thing you can do. Imagine right now, even with the life you've had, where let's say you've had the most amazing life, even if you had an amazing life and you were told, hey, everything you've been through, all fake. It was all just an experiment and it's over now, buddy. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Like you'd break down. But, right? Imagine then you went through such suffering to get to a place. Let's say your friends all, and let's just use this example. Your friends die. You're fighting to get to this one true Era Nova that you all want. There's suffering, there's death. And not only just like on this journey, Mightimos has had one of the most brutal lives in history. Casterus has grown up in this brutal way where she was like, she couldn't even touch someone, right? She couldn't even touch someone at the risk of them dying. Hyacinthia had to hide all of her emotions because of worrying about upsetting other people. Cypher had to leave the person that she cared about most in this world because she was worried that they would realize her lie that she had built up in this world and what she had done for this world. And I love in the end that all these things that we talk about, all the characters sacrificed, all of them, Aglaya, every one of them, Tribi, all the stuff Tribi went through, Trian went through, and Anaxagoras, all these characters, all the stuff they went through. I'm so glad that it isn't a nihilistic story. And I don't care when anyone says it's not. Because as long as Finon is still fighting for this world and for Amphoreus, it's not. It's just not nihilistic. In fact, it's actually like even more beautiful than you can imagine. It's just very painful. The stuff that these characters would have gone through, and then finding out that it's not real, it would make the strongest person in the world want to die. Legitimately. Just straight up. I'm not mincing words. It would make you want to die. So the fact that Finon and Cyrene still decided to go back on this journey once again, and I'm sure Stell will be helping on this journey as well. I'm sure the Astral Express and Donahong will be helping as well. What does this mean for... Oh, Donahong's gone. Yeah, Donahong left. But we still have a hero who doesn't see himself as like that true hero. It's almost ironic, isn't it, that like him casting aside the hero within in a way to do the journey by himself and embracing the destruction almost will make him the true hero actually. You know what I mean? It's like he can't escape that heroism, you know? He just can't escape it. And we talked about the stuff with the card area, the idea of like moving towards the future, no matter what, hopes for the future, and carrying those hopes on people's backs. Finon will never escape the idea for the rest of his life, for the rest of his existence. He is the embodiment of Kepeli itself. Not just in the idea that he holds up this world in a very magical, spiritual sense, or whatever they want to say in that way. He holds up this world on his back. And he holds up everybody on his back. He's in this gigantic ocean where this plane just crashed. And he is tying everyone to a rope around their waist, putting the rope in his mouth, and he's swimming to safety. And he's trying his damned hardest to do it over and over again. And this doesn't, again, I always say this, like, this doesn't diminish the other characters and what they went through. They went through horrific stuff. But I have no problem just saying that, like, Finon became the main character of Honkai Star Rail. Not just, I'm not diminishing Stell. Stell will always be the main character. But it does feel like for the past, like, at least, like, 15 to 16 hours, Finon's, like, stepped up and become, like, the second main character in our story. And I feel like you can say there's other characters as main characters that feel like main characters in the story before, like, Aventurine felt like a main character for a bit. He almost felt like a guest main character, right, for a bit. I would say even, like, Sunday for a small bit felt like a main character for a bit. For that short story quest, right? But I never seen it to this extent where it feels like if right now, if every single, if they started doing all the artwork for Honkai Star Rail with Kalis, Stell, and Finon, I wouldn't even blink. I'd just be like, yeah, he is the main character, it feels like, of Amphoreus, and not because he's more important than everybody else, but because he carries the importance of everybody else on himself. The importance of everyone's lives. Not just the Chrysos heirs. Every person in Amphoreus he carries on his back. Whoa. Wait, what time actually is it? Oh my god. Have I been talking for 34 minutes? Have I? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is crazy. This is crazy. In the end, I think the Cyrene and Finon story is absolutely beautiful. I think the whole in terms of their emotions with each other, but there's no denying, to put a pin in all of this. I'm not closing just because of time. I was already like close to the end. I looked at the time. I hope it doesn't sound like 34 minutes. Like, who cares? Once you get to that point, I feel like that in every story. By the way, like when I used to like play the Genshin series, what would happen is like I would get to like the 3 hour mark and be like, whoa, it's 3 hours. Okay, let's go to 4. You know, it's like we're here now. I've always been that person in life, like, you know, where I'm like, I don't want to go to this party. Well, I'm here now. Let's stay here till 5 a.m. I've always been that person. If the party goes to 5 a.m., what I'm saying. So like we're already 34 minutes in. I wasn't going to be like, oh no, 34 minutes, let's run. Where am I running to? Right? Well, is everyone in the comment section going to be like, oh, I was going to watch this video, but now it's talked for 36 minutes. It's not going to happen like that. But yeah, this is a brutal story. I think we can talk about this as a mind-bending, like, oh my god, this is insane, because it was insane. But there's no denying that this is a absolutely horrifically brutal story. This is people's lives we mess with. This is involving the Eons, by the way. This has made the Titans feel less significant, but also significant at the same time, because they're going to probably be used for this dream as well. This is... what they have done from... Like, I want to make... This is so crazy to me. I want to go back and watch my first episode of Amphoreus. Not on video. Just go back and check it out, because... What's crazy is, can you imagine going, like, where we started with the story? How this story was, like, the epic fantasy world of Amphoreus. The beautiful world with all these gods and titans. It was, like, this Greek epic that... Once it's so funny that it was like, hey, like, here's this historical Greek epic, you're gonna love it, you know what I mean? And then like Act 4, Act 5, oh, by the way, you've been in a freaking sci-fi this whole time already. Just like before, you never left the sci-fi world, my friends. You never left the genre. And that, while it's crazy for us, the brutality for us is that we got to know all these characters as well. There's all these beautiful characters. And Lygus tried to stand there and say that we were just fuel for the fire. And that boiled my blood. You're telling me Casterus is fuel for the fire, Minos is fuel for the fire. My two favorite characters in Amphoreus. There. And I'm using them as examples, but all the Chrysos heirs matter too, but my two favorite characters in Amphoreus are Casterus, Minos. And you're telling me all those characters are fuel for the fire? No. Those were our friends that we made. The lovely people that helped us. Casterus who saved our lives. Minos, who more times than we can count, has fought for us and fought alongside us. Tribi, Trian, and Trinen, who would at a moment's notice sacrifice themselves for anyone in this world. Aglaia, who dragged her corpse to the finish line. Not to the finish line, to almost the finish line, trying to make sure that everyone in Amphoreus was safe. And Exagoras, who fulfilled his dreams and got that goal that we talked about as well. And in the end was so believing in Finon and in us as well. And in Casterus as well. Cyphera, who lived her life through a lie. just so she could sacrifice her own happiness so the world could be safe. Phynon, who carries the world on his back. Cyrene, who will sacrifice herself countless times for this world once again. Stell is real. We know Stell is real. But if you want to tell me all these characters didn't mean anything because they're some sort of experimentation, I'd rather spit in Lygus' face, to be honest. I'd rather just drag his head off myself the next time, honestly. In terms of Lygus' whole thing, yeah, he frustrated me. He frustrated me because the way he explains things is intentionally supposed to be very cryptic, and it's supposed to, and again, it makes sense in the end because, like, it's not a critique for me to say, like, his oh my god, he frustrates me, because in the end, it's almost like he was supposed to be very cryptic to the point that, like, he was trying to fool us. You know what I mean? The reason why he was always like, all in due time, maybe someday, is because he wanted it to be cryptic enough that we wouldn't understand, and the Phynon and Cyrene wouldn't understand. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be cryptic enough that we would just believe it, right? That's what he wanted. Some bastard, honestly. So now we're dealing with Iron Tomb. Now we're dealing with the idea of, like, a rebirth of this world once again. Phynon and the new character of Hycelands, who, by the way, her design is so freaking good, man. Oh my god. Okay, so I think it's actually going to be a thing already. I think it's going to be Robin. The list of, like, characters I want. Robin, Hycelands, Castris, Mightivos. So there's much more. I want to make a list and an extra video of characters that I want to wish for. If you guys would like to see that as well, maybe you'd like to see that. Maybe I'll make it this week. Who knows? And for next week or something, for the next week or whatever, for like next Monday or something. Maybe you guys want to see that. I don't know. But yeah, guys, I feel like I'll be here forever. Cause you know what this feels like? You know what this feels like? Have you ever been through so much with, like, a friend and, like, something bad happens or whatever, and you don't want to leave yet because you're worried that when you go home, your mind is gonna go crazy? You know, when something bad happens in, like, a friend group and, like, everyone's in the one space, and maybe it's just me who gets that anxiety, but it's like, if I go home now, I'm gonna have to think about this by myself. You know what I mean? If I leave this, then I'm leaving you guys for a bit. You know what I mean? Until you guys see this video, and I'm gonna have to think about this by myself. And I don't wanna. I really don't wanna. I like having you guys here. It makes it easier. Well, I guess I'll have to go at some point. You know what I'll do? I'll get some food. That's a good idea. Food makes everyone feel better, doesn't it? In some ways. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and thanks so much for supporting me, and thanks so much for being such a big part of this franchise series. I'm all over the place. This franchise, the Roma playthrough, right? We're making money. It's so funny that I'm doing, like, the salesman, like, oh yeah, we're making money. Come on, buy this car. When I'm about to do this as well, which I'm going to say is, so if you want these videos early, it is €1 or whatever it is in your currency on YouTube members and on Patreon. This video, I believe, came out Wednesday. I believe it's a very long video, but I believe it came out Wednesday, and you can see all the Honkai Star Rail videos early on YouTube members or on Patreon. And sometimes it's, like, really super early, like, say sometimes it could be like 2 days, sometimes it could be 3 days. It always depends on the week. Roma Reacts weeks, it's more like a little bit closer to the date of the actual official release, but it's still early, like by a day or two, 100%. And if you want your name in the text credits going by right now, that is €10 or whatever it is in your currency. And thank you very much for that as well if you want to do that also. And if you want your name read out at the end of every single video, that is €15 or whatever it is in your currency, and that's also so appreciated. And I'm going to say thank you first to the patrons at the highest tier, that being Ty Pharaoh 2, Jamie Bull, Jana the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Jared Beanham, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Conde, and then at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lusanagi. See you guys so soon. Bye-bye.